Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Welcome back to the Random Show. Welcome back to the Random Show with I, your host, Agostino Zinga. What's happening, people? What's cracker-lacking? What's cracker-lacking? Welcome back to the Random Show. Random Show settings. It is I. It is I. It is I. What's going on? Bang your chest, bang your doors. Where are you? Where are you at? Where are you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Come one, come all. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. What's the deal? 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 What's happening, people? What's happening, people? What's happening, people? What's happening, people? What's happening? Random show settings. Random show settings. Random show settings. How are you guys doing, people? How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Appreciate all of you. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate all. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining me. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Thank you for joining me. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Apologies for a delay. I was in the shower. Just got back from the gym, so I had to quickly. I was gonna jump straight into streaming, but you know, I'm a stickler for a good shower, you know. So I had to get me nuts. I had to get me nuts. Big up my nuts in the stream chat. I had to get me nuts all nice and clean. So we're ready to roll now. Ready to blood clot roll. Okay. Cool. Big up everybody tuning in. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate all of you so much. Big up Uche. Yep, you know how we do. You gotta get in those bollocks. You gotta get in there. You gotta get in there. Get in there. So big up all the bollocks gang. Big up 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 the bollocks gang. And also big up those who don't have any bollocks, you know, and everything else in between. Okay, we don't discriminate around here. We welcome everybody. Those who have bollocks, those who want bollocks, those who bollocks are in their mind, those who identify as bollocks, wherever you are, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, I appreciate all of you. So today's episode. Actually, let's load up some chin too. Today's episode, we're gonna go through TFATK. We're gonna do the recent TFATK episode. We've got a new podcast cringe. Is it new podcast cringe? Yeah, new podcast cringe. New Tuesday to try. They both dropped today, so a new podcast cringe. New Too Lazy to try. What else? Oh, we got some no jumper stuff to talk about as well. DSP wings, and that's it, I think. So I'm going to try and get through all of that today. So today is the opportunity to get through all of my tabs. No fucking excuses. Today I'm going to get through all of my tabs so I can start off fresh again tomorrow. You feel me? But yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. So we're going to watch a bit of TFATK 1060, 106. We're also going to do a few other bits and bobs here and there. But it should be fun. It really, really should be fun. Those of you chilling or wondering what I'm drinking, I've got a little coffee here today. Giving the necessary energy that I need after a workout and stuff. You know, I usually get a little bit tired and sleepy, so this should help. This should fucking help. So let me load up the chin stuff. Bear with me a second here. I'm a bit underprepared, and then we should be able to roll. So okay, cool. Actually, I don't want that. I want this to switch because I don't want. What's it? Is that my Taz channel? What's happening right now? Okay, it's all RS. Okay, cool. Doesn't matter. Let's just roll. Let's just roll. So first things first, there's this video here titled this is by a channel called Izzy So Dope. Big up Izzy So Dope. Big up Izzy So Dope. So Izzy So Dope has this video. It's titled Bill Burr on, I guess, Elon Musk's salute, right? The very interesting salute from Elon Musk. So let's see what Izzy So Dope thinks about Elon Musk's salute. Oh, sorry, no, let's see what Bill Burr has to say about it. Let's see what Bill Burr has to say. Does Bill Burr excuse it the way Rogan did? Or does he rip into Elon and then quickly, you know, basically by default ripping into Elon, also kind of write off any chance of him going back on JRE? I wonder. Let's check it out. Let's check it out.
Browse for a gesture some are comparing to a Nazi salute.
Nazi salute.
Nazi salute.
Nazi salute.
A Nazi salute.
It kind of sounds like a French football player, doesn't it? For those of you who watch football, those of you who watch football, that kind of sounds like a what you call it? A French football player that plays in Ligue 1, maybe plays for like Saint Etienne. Nazi Salou. Nazi Salou. Nazi Salou. It sounds like a footballer's name. Nazi Salou.
Dude, what happened to the fucking Twitter guy? I don't watch the news. That guy has lost his fucking mind.
Jesus Christ.
That dude has lost his fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't understand neo-Nazi people. I don't understand how they're in this country going, support the troops, America, love it or leave it, and all of this type of shit. And it's like, you know, all those guys who died on D-Day, they were fighting Hitler.
I just don't get, that's a good point, but I don't get how like neo-Nazis nowadays, they're rarely proud. They're really loud. They always do dog whistle stuff. They never say stuff with their chest. So if Elon actually thinks, or if Elon kind of sympathizes or identifies with Nazis and shit, stand on your shit. Why are you hiding behind the Roman salute? If you really did that shit, stand on it. But they don't. They love the ambiguity. They love the vagueness. They love, like, you know, the misinterpretation of what they do. But they never say anything with their full chest. It's always kind of dog whistling, you know? It's always sly. It's always on the, you know, on the whatever. It's never ever said with full chest. That's the thing I don't get. I understand why they don't do it, because they're pussies, but I really don't understand why they don't do it, because they act like they're, you know, they stand in their convictions, you know, they believe in what they say, they're all about freedom of speech. Okay, there's your freedom of speech. Say you're a Nazi then. Say it with your whole chest. Go on, say it. I dare you.
Like, I've lived so long. Like, you know, everything just sort of changes after a while. It's like, wait a minute, are people trying to say he was a good guy now? The fucking level of ignorance out there. And what is that fucking Twitter guy? He literally sieged Heil. He didn't just Heil.
Exactly.
You know?
This is the version of Elon I love, by the way. This version of Elon I loved. This is the version of Elon, for lack of a better phrase, I fell in love with. Like, this was the version. This one, where he was like, actually developing SpaceX, actually, like, you know, gave a shit about being an engineer, took pride in being a computer, took part in doing the practical things, not just being a CEO. Like, he actually was in the office, he was actually at work, he was actually doing the things he was talking about, he was actually busy, he wasn't on social media all the time. What a time.
You can accidentally Heil, hey, oh, so, I didn't mean like that. I didn't mean like that. But when you add the sieg, you meant it. Good Lord. It is just so funny to me how, when I was growing up, all of these fucking women that hated men, they were always focusing on the athletes, and they never paid attention to the nerds. And now look at it. You know, you were paying attention to the wrong fucking people. You know, I don't know what their deal was. They were upset because you were a good-looking guy and you could fucking score a touchdown. And these nerds just silently resenting beautiful women, resenting, you know, the fucking good-looking guy, the Burt Reynolds guy out there with the T-tops crushing it. Silently resenting. And now we are in the true revenge of the nerds era.
Especially with crypto. Crypto has empowered a whole generation of people who would have probably had no other way to attain that level of wealth. And now they have it, and you can't tell them shit. You bully them all their lives. You spat on them all their lives. You kick them in their shins all their lives. You took the piss out of them because they're on the computer all their lives because of how thick their glasses were. Now look, half of them are running the world.
And look at that guy with his Turkish hair plugs and his laminated face, and now he's out here sieg heiling. I mean, that guy is off his fucking rocker. I can't believe he's still in, like, whatever position.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm having a little bit of a delayed response when it comes to Elon. Like I said, because I kind of got into Elon because I've been a bit of a startup nerd. I've worked for many startups, you know, in my time. I've been obsessed with that whole community of things. I'm always fucking checking TechCrunch. I'm always buying fucking autobiographies and fucking motivational books from startup founders that don't really go anywhere. I'm watching fucking hour plus interviews with founders. So that's where I kind of was exposed to Elon. I was exposed to Elon through that side of things, of being a quote unquote entrepreneur, of having these companies, of trying to make us a multi-planetary species, right? Of trying to fucking figure out a way around, congestion and traffic and shit, of figuring out alternative energy resources and, essentially making EVs to what they are. That's where I got exposed to Elon from. So to see this version of Elon, I'm not going to lie, like, I know it sounds GAY, but it really does break my heart, man. Because he's such a piece of shit now. He's like a shadow, like he's not even a shadow of his, like, I think, this is a bit of a hot take, but I think the Elon we have now is worse than the Joe Rogan that we have now. I feel like the Joe Rogan we have now was coming little by little. I feel like we saw it in real time. It was playing out like year by year. He was getting more and more radicalized, more and more lights leaning to the right, more and more MAGA. We saw it in real time play out. But I feel like with Elon, it was like all sudden. Big up Asad Aziz.
We get it. You're an Elon and Kanye fan. Just tell us how you feel about those people, AZ.
Okay, big up Asad Aziz. All right. Message received.
He just got, like, how the fuck do you keep that guy in that position? It's like, wait a minute, this guy is he rooting for the other side? He's on the Axis side? All of these movies along the fucking way, The Greatest Generation, D-Day, all of those lives that were sacrificed.
Big up Jack Donaghy Jr. The entire Boring Company initiative was created to stop high-speed rail in California. Please explain that, brother. Please explain that. I'd love to know more about that. How does that work? Why would that work in Elon's favor? I'd love to know more information about that. That's an interesting conspiracy. If true, that's fucking fascinating.
So that people could live free. And this fucking nerd, because he couldn't get any pussy in high school, is now identifying with Hitler. Oh my God.
Yo, big up Austin Casey.
Who designed Bianca Censori's Grammy outfit?
You know who
Smiley face.
You know who designed it, man. Don't ask any questions, man. The greatest designer of all time, the richest black man on planet Earth, Massa Musa reincarnated. You know who designed it. Kanye fucking West, aka Ye. He designed it. Couture. Made to specifications, custom made, one of one. She's the most Googled person on the earth. You know what it is. You know what it's about. Yeezy till we die. No, I'm not gonna do it. Big up Austin Casey.
This is where liberalism is bad.
Hey, yo, big up NJ Ranger.
He missed the deadline for Mars. His solution for traffic was subways for Teslas. They took transit subsidy for a nothing burger Hyperloop, as JDJ says. Maybe Bryce Mitchell can get a job as a taste tester at his paint chip factory. F them all.
Was it me or did no one else hear that dono from NJ Ranger? I didn't hear it. Did you guys hear it? I didn't hear it. I don't know what I didn't hear anything really. I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said really. I don't think I heard it. I don't think so. I think there's some sort of interference, some sort of crackling in my head. I don't know. I just didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything what NJ Ranger said. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear the zero.
Because and why extreme conservatism works over liberalism is because liberals at heart are non-confrontational. And this is like some shit that needs to be stomped out immediately. That people are going to like fucking try to lead us back in that direction. I mean, what are we doing? This is the United States. We're united, not divided.
He said, what are we doing? Did he say, what are we doing here?
Out immediately. That people are going to like fucking try to lead us back in that direction. I mean, what are we doing? This is the United States. We're united, not divided. And like, are we really going to fuck this up?
But that's the thing that I don't really understand about. I think we have it different in the UK, at least. The only disappointing thing, again, I don't like to comment on American politics. I don't live there and I don't give a fuck about politics. But it is quite sad. I think in both parties, no matter who's in charge, they're very divisive. They don't try to bring the country together. So if the Democrats win, they still try and like vilify the Republicans. They still go after the people who didn't vote for them, or the other half of the population that wouldn't have voted for them anyway. Same with the Republicans. That's the only disappointing thing. Like there is no attempt made so far in the recent, of the recent presidents you guys have had. There's been no attempt to try and heal, to try and bring the country together. There's nothing. If anything, there's been a lot of stuff that's done to kind of piss off the other side. To kind of rub it in their faces that you won and stuff. It's like, I don't know, man. I wish that wasn't the case. You can have difference of opinions, you could have different policies, different ways of looking at the world, different just objectives, different, POVs, everything. But surely, once you come into power, it should be about bringing the country together, because, the country's together, it's better for everybody. It works out best for everybody. And like Bill Burr said, it's like you should be the United States, you know what I mean? But hey, what do I know? What does he know?
Because Elon Musk couldn't get any pussy in fucking high school? Like we're really going to fuck this whole thing up? Fucking guy. I mean, I don't know.
Fucking hell. Everyone in the chat fucking... everyone in the chat giving me fucking pelters about Elon. Big up Manuel. Let's hear these home truths. Look at where Tesla factories are. Then look at the subsidy grants and what states give them. Easy to put together this transport play. If I'm not mistaken, he has a till taking contract. Fucking hell. Oh yeah, because someone who Jack Donahue Jr. mentioned he has a what you call it? He has a fucking car company. So I'm assuming the fact that he tried to propose that boring company was an effort to not have trains, because that would maybe affect people buying Teslas, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's part of the play Jack Donahue Jr. was talking about. Big up NJ Ranger. If Elon found out how to suck his own dick, he wouldn't hear it from your mum. So that's just so fucking funny. Actually very, very true.
It just boggles my fucking mind. I don't know. Well, we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how.
Fucking hell. Look at these points, back to back points. Big up Uche. Media companies make money off division and rage bait. Then further down, Mech. Here in the States, Unity doesn't make money, competition does. Ain't that a fucking bitch?
How that play? Why would he be a Nazi? Like, what does he feel he's not getting as a white man? I mean, it's like you're a fucking billion. You got more money than anybody. You're still upset? Like, how do you have the bandwidth with the amount of fire? You're shooting rockets off and all of this stuff. You still have...
Big up Asad Aziz, appreciate you. Everyone getting on you for liking Elon. I give my heart to you, AZ. Big up Asad Aziz, appreciate you, brother, appreciate you.
Tesla got a $64 million tax break to build in Austin. Elon would have been experimented on in the camp on account he is redacted.
Okay. You know what I appreciate? Big up Elon vibes. You know what I appreciate? I gotta be honest, man. Like, I appreciate, because now it's trendy, now it's okay, now people have seen the light. But I appreciate early on, when I was really in love with Elon, I remember early on seeing videos of people saying, this guy ain't that smart. Early on, random YouTubers would making videos. And this was before he turned into this like Twitter edgelord troll guy. Really early on, people were like, yeah, half the stuff he talks about, he doesn't follow through, he's a fraud, he's a hype man, he sells you dreams, nothing's real apart from Tesla. The Tesla also, he's not responsible for the success, blah 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 blah. So those guys and girls, they deserve a pat on the back, because they called it out early doors. Because now it's easy to see. Now it's easy, even for someone like myself. Like I think I do not that much, and I feel like I don't have enough time in the day, right? I feel like I don't have enough time in the day. There's not enough hours in the day for me to do everything I want to do, and I don't think I'm doing that much. But Elon allegedly runs like what, 5 companies, allegedly. He's an engineer at a fucking, at an aerospace company, allegedly. and he's got time to tweet as much as he does. He's got time to get involved in politics. He's got time to go on podcasts. He's got time to play video games. Something smells a bit fishy there.
Have the bandwidth to fucking you to be like not liking people because they don't look like you? Is that what it is? I mean, to be honest with you, nobody looks like Elon Musk. That's what scared me about that guy. You know what I mean? Like Hitler couldn't live up to his version of what the perfect human was. What do you like, blonde, blue-eyed, and all of those fucking Scandinavian people? And like he was this ugly little fucking troll. That was one ugly son of a bitch, I will tell you that.
Great point.
You know, scowling.
Who's uglier? Who's uglier? Who's uglier? Adolf Hitler or Adolf Hitler? Adolf. Or Eric Griffin? Who's uglier? Eric Griffin or Adolf Hitler?
He definitely came with the grunge vibe before grunge music. Hitler definitely had Seattle energy. He was not a Sunset Strip guy. T-tops, doing some blow, walking, flying, driving down the street with some big-titted fucking blonde. That was not his vibe. He was... Hitler's chicks had hairy legs. I'm going to say that's what it was. That's what he could get. He was a private. He was a private in the service. He was a private in the army. And I don't know. And we all...
Do we think he used just for men on his mustache? Do we think Hitler used the same... Do we think Hitler's mustache grew in dark? Like Brendan? Do we think so? Did his mustache grow in dark too, like Brendan's?
Paid the fucking price. So now here comes another one. Here comes another one. You know what? The greatest country and the freest country in the world needs fascism.
Springfield will have its first annual Do What You Feel festival this Saturday, whenever you feel like showing up. It'll be a welcome change from our annual Do As We Say festival, started by German settlers in 1946.
Jesus Christ.
Unreal. Unfucking real. I hate that expression.
Sorry, Bill Burr. It's not unreal. It's unreal. Unreal. Get it right, Bill Burr. It's unreal.
Come to Jesus moment. The fuck does that mean? All right? I'm running from that guy. All right? Not him personally. All right? I got no problem with that surfing looking guy. You know, he looks like he, goes out on a board out there in Malibu.
If my mum saw this, she would burst a vein. She would probably have a heart attack. If my mum saw this, this is so blasphemous. She would fucking punch the TV.
Carves up the waves or whatever. I got no beef with him, but it's who he works for. I stay away from those guys. I cut out like the middle. Religion, it's like trying to give money to a charity. It's like trying to get the money to the actual people that use it once it goes through the fucking infrastructure is impossible. And that's what I find with, like, if you're going to try to have a relationship with the higher power, I don't get how you do that through organized fucking religion. Just inherently, it doesn't make any sense. I feel like your sense of a higher power and that there's something bigger than you is your own personal thing, and that somebody privatized it and turned it into a fucking business and then starts throwing down rules and scaring the shit out of you and telling you if you do this, you do that, all of this shit. They don't know. They have no fucking idea what they're talking about. And now it's a business.
I used to say this in secret in my bedroom. I used to say this. I used to whisper this to in my bedroom to myself. I used to whisper this to myself in my bedroom. I lived at home. I couldn't say this around my parents. Jesus. Whoops. Don't use God's name in vain.
And they're making all this money. You make money, you got boats. You got boats, you got money, you got whores. You got whores, you're out there fucking, fucking having a good time.
Oh, do you remember that guy? Do you remember this guy? Do you remember this guy? Joel motherfucking Osteen. Joel motherfucking Osteen. Do you remember this motherfucker? When the floods happened, and he wouldn't open up his church until he got fucking until he got fucking ragged on online. Then he opened up his church for people. He wouldn't open up his church that was untouched by the floods to people that were affected by the floods. What a piece of shit.
You don't want it to end. So then I don't know. It all fucking goes away. So I feel like that's my own business. And if all these different groups can make up their own bullshit or what the fuck they think's gonna happen after you die.
Oh really? Is that true? Big up Jack Downey Jr. Is there an article about Joel? Okay, let's check it out. Joel Osteen, The Onion. Really? What does it say about him? Where is it? For news? What? Oh no, there, is that the one there? Is that it there? Christians explain why atheists are bullies. Is this one? What's the article called? Do you know what the name of the title of the article is? Let me know the title of the article and I'll look for it.
Why can't I? How come I can't have my own bullshit?
Okay, cool.
And
cool.
I like my
Thanks.
bullshit
Check
because it
yeah.
doesn't involve anybody else. I'm not putting it on anybody. There's no collection basket. There's no pedophiles.
Cool. Cheers, Jack. Cheers.
There's no getting in bed with the Nazis and, oh, did we have some of your money? Sorry about that. There's none of that shit. None of that shit. There's no terrorists. There's no fucking 90 virgin. There's none of that shit.
Oh, that's the guy with the shoes, isn't it? That's the. I don't know why he. I remember him, but that's the shoe bomber guy, right? He's the reason why we have to take off our shoes, motherfucker.
None of that shit.
Don't ask how come, why come the pastor have to have him a nice house? Why come pastor got to have a nice car? Don't ask. I said don't ask. I said don't ask. No questions.
None of that shit.
So good. That was so good. I felt like I'm back in church there. That was so accurate. That was so fucking accurate.
Ask how come, why come the pastor have to have him a nice house? Why come pastor got to have a nice car? Don't ask. I said don't ask. I said don't ask. No questions.
None of that shit. I don't even know what it is. It's just it's your own fucking thing. You're on your own.
Oh, actually, there's a movie. What's it called? Is it called Covenant Cathedral? I watched it the other day. I wish I remember the name. Where it's about how they select the next pope. It's really good, actually. I think I slept a couple times watching it, but I do remember some parts of it. It was actually pretty decent. I have to rewatch it again. What's the name of it? Covenant.
Maybe that's what some people. I think they just like the group dynamic. You know, just to be part of something. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but the Nazi party started with a bake sale, and people just wanting to be part of a community.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Elon Musk dating? Can you imagine his chick when he just sees him go out there, and then just watches him start sieg heiling? Like, oh my god!
But in the electronic music world, Grimes is even having to issue apologies. Grimes is being negatively affected by Elon's fucking, trolls and his, Nazi sympathizing. She's now having to come out and put statements out because in the electronic dance music world, most people in that scene are liberal, or they at least pretend they are. There's not a lot of like outwardly right-wing people in the dance music scene. Everything's about free love and freedom of expression and LGBTQ rights and shit. So a lot of people are left-leaning. So she's been negatively affected by that. Like, she's getting her bookings cancelled. She's not getting booked in certain places. So she's had to come out and be like, look, I disavow everything my baby daddy said. Like, I know I've got kids with him, but we're not the same person. We don't believe in the same things. Like, Elon is destroying her life. But I still can't figure out how she even decided that was a good idea, to be fair. I get it for her long-term prospects and shit, She's basically sorted for life. But the shacking up with Elon was like one of her biggest missteps ever, man. Because Grimes is a fucking artistic genius in her field. She's amazing. And I feel like a little bit of her legacy is going to be tainted forever because of this association with Elon, unfortunately. Especially if Elon... Because I don't see... There's not a lot of people I can't think of many people who go down this path that Elon's on and turn around and say, you know what, I'm bugging, and walk it back. They don't walk it back, do they? They usually, the more you the more you go after them, the more you try and tell them they're wrong, the more you try and silence them, shut them down, tell them off, punish them, the more they double down in their, wacky, crazy, racist, bigoted thoughts. So most likely Elon's going to get much worse as the years go by, which is unfortunately also going to impact negatively Grimes. So even though her bank balance will always be good, legacy wise, people are always going to look at Grimes, they're always going to give her the side eye for letting fucking Elon, bust all inside her, because woof, she's paying for it.
What is he doing? He's going to burn this whole thing down. I think he just lost his job. Oh, wait a minute. Nothing happened. I cannot believe nothing happened.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
Nothing happened.
But what can happen, though? He's one of the richest guys in the world. What can actually happen? He's one of the richest guys in the world, and he's also best friends with fucking Trump. He's literally playing a role within American politics and government right now. So it's impossible anything could. What's the likelihood anything could happen anyway? He's Teflon Don in a way.
How do you explain that away?
Musk posted on X, frankly, they need better dirty tricks. The everyone is Hitler attack is so tired.
I saw some guy who was saying gesture truthism and trying to make it seem like people were saying that he wasn't Sieg Heiling. He goes, okay, what was he doing? What was he saying? And then my rockets are going to get launched and they go that way. Maybe it was taken out of context. You know who would do the Sieg part of the Heil, but not the whole Sieg Heil, was that Celine Dion. It was like she was a Nazi that was stuttering.
Wow.
You know what I mean? She couldn't quite get through it. She would Sieg.
What a reference. What a fucking reference. Celine Dion with the fucking dog whistle. With a Sieg Heil dog whistle.
She'd punch herself in the cleavage. Hey, Elon Musk, if you don't mind, we'd like to enjoy our life. I don't think we need to reboot Adolf Hitler, you fucking lunatic. I'm sorry pretty girls don't like you until you have $1 billion.
Don't take it out on all of us, please.
Dude, when he was Sieg Heiling, that looked like one of those crazy Nick Cage movies. You ever see that clip when Nick Cage went out and he was throwing karate kicks? He was promoting a movie and he just fucking went out, and I don't know what. He was probably towards the end. Some people don't know. You do those press junkets.
Love it.
You're gonna get asked the same 30 questions 30 million times.
To be fair, that's a fucking outfit and a half, though, isn't it? That's an outfit every man should have in their wardrobe, and you should probably be able to do that at some stage of your life. But every man in their wardrobe should have a good pair of black boots, a good pair of black jeans, a good black leather jacket, and a nice black t-shirt, preferably a band t-shirt, something that you love and you identify with. It suits every man. Every man can look good in that shit. It looks fucking great.
People don't know. You do those press junkets, you're going to get asked the same 30 questions 30 million times. And after a while, you kind of fucking lose your mind. And that's what I love about that clip. I feel like Nick was at the end of his end of his wits there. And he was just, yeah, out there fucking throwing kicks.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Elon, he has all this money and power and he thought it was going to fill that fucking void, and it didn't. And rather than face it in a panic of the profound loneliness. Okay, and I'm coming from an empathetic place here because I experienced that when I took mushrooms. It's a profound sense of loneliness. And then you either face that and figure out where it is, or you just go full Nazi. And go. I feel he's more Mussolini. If I'm to look at his face, I feel he's more Mussolini than he is Hitler. I got to be honest.
Oh, that's a great reference, isn't it? That's very true. He does look more Mussolini in the face, doesn't he?
Mussolini than he is.
He actually does look Mussolini in the face. Shit, that's fucking incredible. That's such a good call. Jesus. And Adolf's got a bit of Brian Callen about him, innit? He's got that little quiff, that hairline. He's got a bit of Brian Callen about him, Adolf.
Than he is Hitler. I got to be honest with you. The fact that he did that and everyone isn't fucking outraged is just is beyond me. Because I always felt like this country collectively all agreed that Hitler was not a good person,
exactly,
to put it mildly. And I also think that we all look at World War II as far as the sacrifices that were made and what was prevented was a good thing. I feel like that's the last war that we had where people weren't like, you know, some people like, well, Vietnam, oh, you know, they were stopping the spread of communism. And other people like, no, that was just a fucking whatever, right? But World War II, I was always collectively like, yeah, those were bad people. They needed to be stopped. And the sacrifices that people made was not in vain. That was, without a doubt, a just operation. I thought that's where we all were. And the irony that this fucking asshole was able to make $1 billion in the nation that those kids saved in the 1940s would then turn around and fucking spoon with the person that was killing their fucking fellow soldiers. It's beyond me. It's just fucking beyond me. I don't know. You know what he reminds me of? Like back in the day, like when I was coming up, there was an entire generation of comedians that I was in that was enamored with Bill Hicks. And you'd see these Bill Hicks ripoffs, and they would go on stage and they would have like a leather jacket and they'd be smoking a cigarette talking about society, man. I feel like he's doing that. I think he's like a recovered nerd, and now he's trying to be like the bad boy. What was that Johnny Depp movie? It was a really good movie. All of it. I like all those movies, but like it was that one. What the fuck was it called? It was almost like a musical. He was like 1950s Crybaby or something like that. I feel like he's trying to be that character. He's trying to be like this bad boy. This bad boy that Kate Moss would date. And I just don't think it's going to happen no matter how much money he has.
That's so true. That is so fucking true. But the likelihood of Bill Burr going back on Joe Rogan's podcast, whether or not he wants to go back on there, whether or not Joe will have him is very, thin. But I think it would make for a really good conversation. I think Rogan now, he's never going to walk it back. He's never going to have a come to Jesus moment. He's never going to, not double down on the place that he's in now at the moment, which is fine. I think that happens to most people, especially when you're rich and old. You just become a little bit more conservative in that regard. Cool, do your thing. But I would just wish he would have more people on like Bill Burr who maybe have a different opinion, different POV from him, different worldview. That would make for a far better podcast than having people that just agree or just sit there and nod and let him rant for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Get someone like Bill Burr on. It would make for a much better podcast. Like I literally, honestly, maybe because I don't live in America, but I really have no problem with Trump being MAGA. Just have other people on that aren't MAGA, Just mix up a little bit. Big up Purple Pidge.
Loving these regular streams. 2025 be the Oz year.
Yes, I received that. I receive it. Big up Purple Pidge. Yeah, big up you guys too for joining in and watching the streams. I can't be doing this by myself, so it's all a collective effort. You get me? Big up Purple Pidge. But yeah, I would love to see more people like Bill Burr on the show. I think it would make for such a good podcast. Honestly, like imagine if Joe Rogan had like Bo Burnham on. Like have someone like Bo Burnham on. That'd be so good. He's a proper like liberal, but he's also very intelligent. He's also very well spoken, and he's also a comedian. They could have a really good conversation. They could disagree on a bunch of stuff, but it'd be a really good podcast instead of him just sitting there with other fellow MAGA adjacent people. It's just a bit boring, man. Like, who wants to hear that all the time? Trump is right. Everything Trump does is amazing. Biden is old and senile. Kamala Harris doesn't know what she's doing. They all have the same fucking tropes, the same things, the same fucking points. Get someone else on that has different points, please, for the love of God. Please, for the love of God. But hey, will that happen? Unlikely. Will it happen? Unbloody likely. Cool. Let's move on. Quickly, when we talk about this, let's quickly change tack. Quickly, because I just seen something on the old social medias that I think will be interesting to check out. Don't know if you guys know who DSP is, but it looks like DSP's former girlfriend, Panda Lee, has released a music video. So Panda Lee's doing music. I don't know if Darsky the Flow is like trolling, but I saw a clip here from Darsky the Flow. Big up Darsky the Flow. Panda Lee has a music video. What the fuck is going on here? So let me get this up in a minute. Bear with me one moment here. I want to react to this in real time. What the fuck is Panda Lee doing music? Let's check it out, because I haven't heard from Panda Lee in a while. If you know your DSP law, you'd know Panda Lee was Darkside Phil's first girlfriend in life. A little cutie Asian girl that a lot of people liked. No, a lot of people didn't like her actually because she was annoying, but she was kind of above his league. And somehow DSP managed to fumble it in a very epic way, to be honest, because he was very absent and very dismissive and very just like locked into his streams and begging for money online. So she eventually left him, and now she's been thriving, I think, last time I saw her. But allegedly she's doing music now. Allegedly she's doing music. So let's get this video up here, because Darsky the Flow just posted it right now, so I want to react to this in real time. So let's see what the fuck Panda Lee's doing. Panda Lee's making music. That's fucking hilarious. Let it load now. Big up Darsky the Flow. Bear with me as a moment. Let's see if it loads. Come on now. Obviously, if you enjoy the stream too, please like the stream too. Please join the channel too if you want to join as a member. Link down below, and also subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize the thing. You feel me? And feed my non-existent kids. Come on, bro. What's happening with this fucking page? Let's refresh. One moment, please. One moment. One moment. One moment. The fucking anticipation is really killing me. I wonder if it's EDM. I wonder if it's hyperpop. Is it R&B? Is it hip hop? Is it jazz? Is it classical? What type of music is Panda Lee gonna make? Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Bear with me a second as it loads. Oh my god, why is it taking so long? Okay, cool, there we go. Panda Lee just dropped her new single, Fire Flames. Look, and she calls herself Panda Lee too. That's fucking incredible. Let's see. Panda Lee's making music. This is hilarious. I can't wait for DSP to react to this. Will he react to it on stream? Probably won't. It's mad, isn't it? How much like his wife now at the moment, Cat, is like the size of a fucking whale, and then Panda Lee looks the way that she looks. Fucking crazy. So let's play this. Is this actually Panda Lee? I don't really know. Is it actually her? Okay, let's see. Let's put this full screen. Panda Lee just dropped a new single. Let's see what she's saying. No, that's not her. That's not her, is it? That's not her. That's a different... No, that's not her. This is a troll. That's not her, because that girl doesn't even look that Asian. Panda Lee's like a mix. I don't know. Is that her? I don't think it is anyway. I think it's a troll.
Got the fire flame flavor, can't stop, won't stop. You're in a real problem on the mic. Blast off when I rock it. I ain't 5'9", but this little giant knows what's realer than hip hop. Call it what you want. X-pop stirring up the pot. Woo, standing on some business, down on my 10 toes, is walking out. Infants carry that room, but about to raise the roof. I don't want no beef on this, it's Kobe great. And while you process it, I keep it raw, no K-fake. They talking way out of pocket, out of the unpaid rate. Go ahead and get it off your chest, but you ain't no shake. Too rare with a clarity, top integrity. Graduated with pedigree, got them shook and settling. And I always decide for the beat, no rap parody. My level be extraterrestrial, so tread carefully. Yup, still hot, still got the fire flame flavor. Can't stop, won't stop. You're in a real problem on the mic. Blast off when I rock it. I ain't 5'9", but this little giant knows what's really there.
Whoever this girl is, she's kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie.
And hip hop, still getting harder. Must be a hard pill to swallow. Cause I'm a hard act to follow. So don't bother.
Oh my my God.
Yeah, look at his now. Look at DSP's wife now. He definitely deserves that woman. Look at the size of her, mate. More so because she just they have a weird relationship, man. It's not even the size. It's just like she looks kind of dead behind. I'm not too sure if I guess they're probably both on a spectrum, but she looks like she's dead behind the eyes, Kat. There's something about her that's like there's no one there, you know? That's the thing that's weird about her. She's like, she's not very present. She's not very alive, you know? I don't know how to describe her, but Jesus Christ.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
To the Burnell family stream.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But yeah, big up Doxxing the Flow. That is not Panda Lee. I thought that was actually Panda Lee. That would have been fucking hilarious if that actually was Panda Lee making fucking music. But big up Doxxing the Flow same way. We appreciate him. What else is going on quickly here regarding DSP before we move on? Big up everybody in the stream chat as well, liking the stream, hopefully you're subscribing, all that good stuff. That'd be appreciated. What's he saying here? What's this talking about here? What's that? A child with rat teeth. What's this about?
Dude, okay, watch this.
Oh. Huh?
Actual child.
He's got such a weird head in it. Like, it's DSP is utterly fascinating to me because he's legitimately one of the ugliest people I've seen in my entire life. He's got such an oddly shaped head, a fucking horrendous hairline. He looks transparent. He's such a shut-in. He legitimately looks see-through. He has a very annoying voice. He's always begging for money, yet he makes tons of cash. And he's legitimately like a piece of shit. He's honestly fascinating. Him and Wings are the ones that fascinate me the most when it comes to fucking lol cows. Just looking at them, you're just like disgusted. But for some reason, there's people out there who love to, like, you know, support him and basically fund his lifestyle. But he's like so bizarre. He's like, what, 42 years old, I think, DSP or something. Acts like a literal child. I find him fascinating. I find DSP so fascinating, man.
Child. Watch. Sorry about Mom Dread in the background.
Yeah. What? Look at him. Like a baby. Yeah, like a baby. Yeah, like an actual baby.
Look at that fucking ragged ass rat smile. What the fuck is that?
A rat smile.
Don't ever laugh again. Look at this. Wait. Sorry, I talked over it.
He does look like a rat, doesn't he?
Bro. Haunted.
Jesus, man. Look at that. What is that hairline? Like, what the fuck is... And what is that haircut? Jesus Christ, man. Just an absolute fucking mess. What else happened here? That's pretty... Fatherless behavior when his father's right there. Fucking no, Doxxing the Flow. Leave Jaden Smith alone. Leave Jaden Smith alone, Doxxing the Flow. Leave Jaden Smith alone. I dox my home address on purpose, dude. Snort. You more so understand. What's this? Who's this? This is ReviewTechUSA. What's he saying? I've not heard from him in a while. What's ReviewTechUSA saying?
I put up, it showed my address on Amazon. I took it down, but everyone was like losing, like, we all know where you live now. And I'm like, dude, yeah, I took it down because I'm not going to have a billboard of it, but everyone's known my fucking address since 2013. It's funny because I was talking about a right-wing bill where it's a Religious Freedoms Act. And how they could discriminate against people. If like a gay couple walks in, they could kick them out so they don't have to give them business. I got doxxed because of that back then. What? Someone showed up to my house saying, it's Richard ReviewTechUSA here. I was wondering if he had a TV. I've been doxxed, motherfucker.
This guy lives with his parents, you know, with his child. Honestly, some locals on the internet are fucking fascinating. He lives at home with his parents. With his child that he doesn't look after. I think his child is like blind or something. And his parents look after his child. He just sits in the basement. Streaming all day.
Oh, dude, you could find my address and I don't like that. What am I gonna do though?
Look at this. Some moron in the chat who I'm now banning is actually passing around a detractor meme saying, "Didn't you hand out business cards with your street address on it?"
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
Yes,
I
you
never
did. Yes, you did.
I never had
Yes,
business
you
cards
did.
with my street address on
Yes,
it.
you
That was
did.
an idiotic troll who photoshopped it on the internet. You fucking moron. And you're so dumb you believed it. What an idiot.
You fucking moron. Yeah, that's
Enjoy your
right.
band, stupid.
Enjoy your band. Das fucking DSP. What a piece of shit. Okay, let's continue. Joe Rogan responds to claims about Kamala Harris podcast booking. So let's see what, because I guess this is, I don't know why they're still talking about this, but I guess there's been more conversation around Kamala Harris not appearing on the Rogan podcast. Rogan is, to be fair, has kept his story pretty consistent throughout. He basically said that they'll give them the runaround, and after a while he just got kind of bored of it and just forgot about it. But the Harris camp are trying to make it seem like Rogan turned it down. The weird thing is, I don't really understand why Kamala Harris's camp was so nervous about her going on Rogan. Because anytime you've seen an actual politician talk to people like this and actually have a back and forth, it's usually quite embarrassing how quickly they get dunked on. Like, what's the guy? The Canadian president or prime minister that recently stood down. I remember when he got ambushed by someone, like some political guy that doesn't like him. And when they actually started talking, he actually ripped him to pieces. These politicians are a lot smarter than they probably think they are, especially in their arena of podcasts and shit. If they just, if Kamala would have went on Rogan, it wouldn't surprise me, honestly. It wouldn't have surprised me if Kamala Harris went on Rogan and actually was able to kind of school Rogan a bit. It wouldn't have surprised me. But they're just so terrified of the idea of going somewhere that isn't home turf that she just turned it down. And don't get me wrong, I don't think her going on Rogan would have changed the election. I think you Americans were just ready for a change. I think the whole Biden thing, the whole fucking laptop thing, the whole, acting as if, Biden wasn't going senile thing, was trying to getting on the nerves of some people in the States, obviously, the way the economy was and blah, 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 blah. You guys just wanted to change anyway, so it didn't really matter. And clearly, Biden wasn't maybe the best solution out there. But I don't think if Harris would have went on Rogan, it would have changed the election. But I also think it was a dumb decision not to go on there because it did kind of demonstrate kind of cowardice a little bit. Like, what are you so scared of? You know what I mean? It's just a fucking podcast. It's fucking Rogan too. It's not, you know what I mean? He's not a gotcha type of interviewer anyway. He's not really that smart. Like, you could rip into pieces. Come on. Test yourself.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I guess it's probably a good time to talk about this. There was a thing that came out recently. There was a book. There was some book about the Kamala Harris campaign where they talked about her getting on this show. And they said a bunch of things that weren't true. They talked to, supposedly talked to like 150 different people about her and, what happened with her coming on the show. I don't know if it's 150. A lot of people. They didn't talk to us, and which is kind of crazy. And which is like, they didn't even ask. But they said things that just weren't true. One of the things they said that weren't true was that we lied about...
Oh shit, I got the same headphones as Rogan. Big up, big up.
...about the day that Trump was coming on. No, we just didn't tell you that Trump was coming on. He was already booked a long time ago. This is how it worked. Trump was really easy to book, like super easy. We offered one day. He said yes. That was it. There was no, what are we going to talk about? How long is it going to be? Is it going to be edited? There was nothing. Yeah. What's the waiver? Here, give me that waiver.
Big up Super Jello. Joe Rogan going to regret having politicians on, exactly. Do you remember when there was a time when Rogan used to brag about not having politicians on? Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember a moment in time where Rogan used to brag about not having politicians on? And now, Jesus Christ. Big up Chris Mack. Kamala clearly ain't a dummy. Regardless of the supercut vids they put together of her laughing like a maniac, the right to say she sucked her way to the top, but she wouldn't have stayed long without a brain. Yeah, exactly. Of course. No, of course. She's definitely a smart cookie. Smarter than what she's presented anyway. Asad Aziz, I can't see what you wrote there, brother. I don't know. I think my connections don't really allow me to see what you wrote there, so I'm gonna just ignore that.
Sign it. It was so easy. So he was already booked. They never committed to doing the show. So all this talk, there was another thing they said that the reason why they did the Beyonce thing, the Beyonce event in Houston, was so that they could be in Texas to do my show. They never agreed to do the show. None of that's true. They never agreed.
That's fucked.
They also said that they sent someone down here to the studio to do a walkthrough of the set.
What?
That's not true. The Trump administration did. I mean, if they are trying to say that they, as in the entire federal government, well, I don't think the Trump, well, I guess the Secret Service is a part of the federal government. Maybe you can kind of get away with saying that because the Secret Service came down here for Trump and looked around that we sent someone down, but it was not. It was the Trump administration sent them down because they're the only ones that had a date to do the show. These people didn't have a date to do, they never agreed to do the show. This is really important. Even after Trump went on, they offered for me to come to D.C. and do a show with Kamala. But even then, it was the same deal. It was only like 45 minutes to an hour. And, you know, it was not on my set. And I said that, look, he did it here. We should probably do it here. Like, if it's possible to do it here. Obviously, when he did it, it had an enormous result. I'm willing to do the same thing for her. I wanted to release both of them on the same day. This was my goal. I was even trying to figure out if there was a way that I could do it, and I even offered to do it late that night. So the night that Trump came on, I'm like, what if we do her, like when she's done in Texas, if she came here? But no one ever committed to doing it. This is like really important because they keep...
I wonder if they just didn't realize the importance of, like, it. I don't think, I think these guys overestimate their importance with podcasting and how it affected the election. I think people voted how they voted because that's how they went to vote. I don't think they got swayed because of a fucking podcast. But I think culturally, conversation wise, it was an important part, you know? So maybe the Kamala Harris camp just didn't think it was that important. They didn't realize how important it was. I bet you any money next time around in 4 years, whoever the candidate is for the Democrats, I bet you they're going to be on all the podcasts. I bet you any money, whoever the fucking Democratic nominee is in the next 4 years is going to be on all the fucking pods. Yeah, big up Inja Ranger.
Insane cope from Joe. Kamala ran a terrible campaign, after Sleepy was propped up with no primary. But Joe is acting like Mr. Bipartisan over here.
Exactly.
Man face bombing.
That's the thing. That's a really annoying part about it. Like, he's acting as if his mind wasn't made up. He's acting as if like he's not a fucking Trump cheerleader. It's like I don't like he's. Andrea makes a good point. I don't like how he's ignoring he's ignoring the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is maybe they didn't want to go on his platform because they thought like his mind was already made up. Maybe there was a hesitancy to do that because it was kind of going, you know, into enemy territory, for lack of a better term, or for lack of a better phrase. So he's not acknowledging that is really dishonest, you know? Like, Trump is your guy. Like, just say Trump is your guy. You favored one candidate over the other. And didn't he also say quite disparaging stuff about Kamala Harris anyway? Or was it just a Biden thing? I swear I remember him saying some not so nice things about her. So that could have also played a part in it. She probably just didn't want to talk to him. Do you know what I mean? I could see that being I could see that also. Don't get me wrong, I still think it was an error. You should put that to one side, but I could see that being a reason why.
Pretending that I lied or I did this or I did that. They never committed to doing it. Well, we went through, I've got a whole, we have all the receipts, by the way.
Of course.
I have a whole list of conversations that took place.
Big up Coiler. Hey, the 250 made a war and she hit it. Hilarious. Big up Chris Mack. He was invited to the inauguration, as a personal guest of the president-elect. Exactly.
They never said she was going to do it. So this whole idea that we fucked her over and then we fucked her over for Trump, incorrect. Just not true.
And
That's cope. Kamala is a lying coward proved it.
Yeah, of course. There's an element of it. I don't think anyone is not saying she wasn't cowardly. I think I mentioned it before. I just think there's a lot, you know, there's a lot of other things involved in it that he's not really making himself open to or aware of. Yeah, big up. That's all it is.
Rogan makes Biden and Michelle Obama jokes and endorses Trump next podcast. I don't like why PPL call me a right winger.
Exactly. Next podcast. I don't understand why these people don't want to talk to me, you know? I don't get it. Like, just because I said Biden was senile, just because I said Kamala Harris was unfit to run and she didn't know what she was talking about, like why would they talk to me? Yeah, big up as all it is.
But I think it's someone trying to cover their ass for the fact that she never did it, and if she did do it, it might have had a positive effect.
Yeah,
if her and I had a good time and we got along great, and she won over, the air quote young male vote, things could have been different. Who knows? So this guy's probably trying to cover his ass.
That's what I'm thinking too, is because the reaction to her not coming was like pretty big.
But they didn't commit to doing it. This is the thing. While this guy's saying like that we were difficult to deal with, not true. We were super easy. We made it real clear. But also, it's got to be the actual real show. It shouldn't be some fake version of it where I'm sitting in a conference room. Also, they wanted a stenographer in the room. They wanted staff in the room. They wanted Trump was just in here by himself.
Yeah.
So they wanted to turn the podcast into fucking The Fighter and the Kid or something. They wanted just random people around, sitting around. Fucking hell. But I bet, watch the difference. I bet you in 4 years, whoever the Democratic nominee is going to be on every single podcast. Your Mum's House, Are You Garbage, fucking Tiger Belly. Just watch. It's so bait, man. They're going to really go overdrive on the fucking pods.
Just me, him, and Jamie. That's it. For 3 hours. Like, they wanted to do everything. They wanted it very controlled, and they were really concerned that it wasn't going to be edited. So I don't think they ever really were sure they wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Then once Trump did it and it had this huge response, I think then it was like, what the fuck? What are we doing? He just did it. It's got 50 fucking million views. This is so stupid. Why didn't we do it? And so then there was, even then, when they offered to do it in D.C., my manager asked, is she committed?
Yeah, big up Young Lord vibes. I need that so bad too. Imagine BGL talking to Trump. Yes, please. Inject that. Inject that into my fucking veins, bro. I would love nothing more than seeing BGL sit down with fucking Trump. Big up Ruben Rivera as well. Big up, brother.
Committed to doing this. If I bring this to Joe, no, she hasn't committed to doing this. Have you brought this to her? Like, they wouldn't even say whether or not she had expressed willingness to do it or whether they were trying to convince her to do it. We know for sure there were some people that were supposedly on her staff that were against her doing it. They thought it was because it's a bunch of wokesters. They're basically in a cult.
They're not wokesters. Come on, Brogan. Some of them didn't want her to do it because they don't like you and they don't like the things you said about her and her party. Like, it's fairly obvious why some people, like, he's doing that thing that people do where everyone that doesn't like me is an idiot. It's like, it's not really that. Some people that don't like you could have every reason why they don't like you, It could be perfectly fine. Like, you could understand why, like, if like Kamala's like team was made up of like kids that are under 35, you can see why they're not fans. Because I don't think a lot of Gen Z kids are fans of Rogan. They think he's a bit of a boomer. Maybe he reminds them of their dads and shit. But yeah, Rogan doesn't entertain that. Everyone that doesn't like him is woke. Love it.
You have a distribute. Like, if you're willing to go on Fox News, you talk to what's that guy's name? Brett Breyer.
Yeah, big up Asad Aziz.
Rogan wanted to take her to the mothership for a little snoo and kill Tony.
That actually would have been great. Kamala Harris on Kill Tony with that laugh. Kamala Harris on Kill Tony with that laugh. She would have probably killed as well. Weirdly enough, she would have probably killed it on there. But, too stiff. Also, do you really want that anyway from your politicians? Or do you want them talking about the things that actually impacts you? You know what I mean? As fucking American citizens. Do you want them on fucking comedy podcasts? Is that what you really want? Or do you want them fucking laying out policy? Or do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is this anyway? What is this fucking circus we're all in? Where it's normal for these politicians to be wasting 3 hours talking to fucking, a former fucking MMA guy. Like, what the fuck? Like, do politician shit. Why are you on a fucking podcast? Get to work.
Yeah.
Where they cut that off after 20 minutes. When they did that, that's when I was like, look, it's got to be in the studio.
Yeah, big up Ranger.
Joe is actually repeating a mainstream media story put out by the Harris campaign. That she didn't go on BC for progressive young staffers. It's obvious cope. If she cared what the wokes thought, she would have been against the genocide. Eat it up, Toe.
Yeah, that's good. I love how you got around that. Genocide. I love that. Injury Ranger's a fucking YouTube OG. I love the little get around the fucking Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Genocide.
Got to be in the studio and it's got to be real. It's got to be a real conversation.
Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
I had entertained a couple of times going to, but I'm just like, 45 minutes is just not enough. You know, you and I have been talking an hour and a half already.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, it's not enough time. You need more time. You need more time to find out what makes someone tick.
And that's,
I don't, can I say this? And I'm also somebody that loves to talk a lot and stream for many, many hours. I don't like how Rogan acts like his platform and long form podcasts are like the bearer. It's like the bearer of truths, you know? It's a platform where people come and bear it all. You cannot fake the funk on a 1 hour podcast. Shut up, man. It's not that important. Big up KC.
Lefties pushed Joe to right trying to cancel him.
100%. And COVID too. I think COVID was the biggest one that pushed him to the right. I think Rogan's lived his life, for the most part, being able to do exactly what he wants when he wants. And for once in his life, he couldn't do that. And it broke his brain. That's what I think happened. I think that was the worst thing to happen to Rogan fans was COVID. Because him being denied the ability to go and have steak, him having denied the ability to go to a comedy store, him being denied the ability to go on a gun range, to go hunting during COVID, when he wanted, really broke his brain. He couldn't comprehend why he couldn't do what he wanted. Because he was still a multi-millionaire back then, right? Rogan before Spotify was making 50 M's per year and shit. So he's always been able to do what he wanted for like 30 plus years. So that really broke his brain, I feel like, anyway. Big up Casey.
Probably what she was afraid of.
Probably what they were afraid of. Maybe not her.
Maybe
I don't think they should have been. No. I think we would have had a good old time.
No, you're a good guy.
I think we would have had fun.
Big up Chris Mack. I don't think Kamala could go on 2 hours or 3 hours, man. I bet it would have gotten repetitive. I think she had her talking points memorized and she would have rattled them off like a champ, then kind of drifted. You think so? I don't know. I think he could have done it, man. I think she could have done it. I think she maybe not underestimate. I think she probably just doesn't want to be in that type of position. I think politicians, that's what they basically do. They go out of their way not to be put in positions where they're uncomfortable, not to be in situations where they're not where they're at a disadvantage, basically. You know? They don't want to go into the unknown. So I think she played that card. But I think if she was open to it, she could do it. I think so. Same goes for Gavin Newsom. I think so, but I could be wrong.
I think it was a huge mistake on her part. And let's be honest, like, it's the kind of thing that it's reminiscent of the forget the congressman that asked Mark Zuckerberg how Facebook makes money. It's just like you're so detached from the modern world. It's like you could spend millions of dollars on all your ad campaign all across YouTube, or you could just go sit in the room with Joe for 3 hours. And I'll tell you which one's going to do better for you, lady. But she picked the ad campaign.
But I don't know, man. People have been calling her, bro, no shot. She was the worst freestyler in history. Rogan has podcast episodes with Tony Hinchcliffe and all these type of people who just sit there and let him rant for 2.5 hours. I think they could have done a more than 2 hour conversation easily. It's not that difficult. Rogan loves to hear the sound of his own voice anyway. And she would probably, adapt to the environment. And she could have done it. Whether or not she would have said anything of any merit, anything that was valuable, anything that was fucking meaningful, anything that was, that would change anyone's fucking opinion of her and make them maybe vote blue is another thing. But I think she could have done it. I honestly do think so.
Campaigns on YouTube.
The problem is that I think the people that saw it as they thought they were going to win anyway, apparently. Mm-hmm. And the people that saw it as a negative thought, like, there's been a few blunders where things didn't go well.
Is that true? Is that the thinking? Did the Democrats think they were going to win? Were they that confident? I always thought that they were not confident as soon as Kamala got in. As soon as Kamala quote unquote took over, I felt like they were less confident. It was kind of like a toss of a coin. Did they really think they were nailed on to win? Fucking hell. That was a big misstep, bro.
But I think a lot of those blunders are... I was listening to this woman on the Tucker Carlson show, and she was talking about what Biden was like during the presidency. And one of the things that she said, I thought that was very interesting.
Big up Angel Ranger. They did not think that they were going to win anyway. She had no internal poll. Okay, cool. So this is just more right-wing rhetoric, right, to basically embolden them to Trump. There was no indication. Yeah, I didn't think so. I thought she was always wildly unpopular, even with Democrats, because she wasn't a fucking elected, option. They just put her in there like, hey, this is the person you're going to pick. I think people are annoyed about that, I think. I would be annoyed. If I was a Democrat, I'd be fucking annoyed that you're not giving me a choice. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to just choose this person because she wears a blue tie.
Interesting was that there's many people that worked with Biden that said there were moments in his first couple of years where he was very lucid and that he would be actually running the meetings and he had talking points that were written down, but he was having these lucid conversations, and then he would do these public things and he would have blunders. I think a lot of it is just the pressure of performing publicly under intense scrutiny.
Okay, big up big up Assad. Yeah, bro, no one thought she was gonna win after the assassination attempt and the mess of Sleepy Joe. Yep. Big up Coiler. Yeah, Joe would have said, "You're funny. You should do stand up." Honestly, we know we were gonna hear that. We were definitely gonna hear that line. You know what? You should do stand up. You're really funny. And her cackling. And you know how Joe is with women too. Joe kind of melts with women. He turns a bit sassy whenever he has women guests on or female guests on. He's always a little bit, he's always the sassy part of Joe comes out. So I think they actually would have had a blast, honestly.
Like if you have to do a live set, like say if you have to do Saturday Night Live or something like that, and you're going to do a monologue, the pressure of doing that monologue is so much different than the pressure of just going up at a local comedy club.
Oh, sure.
It's insane. And I think that pressure, Joe Biden, as much as, I'm sure he has
Oh, come on, Rogan, get over yourself.
a high self-opinion, clearly, when he is confronted by the reality that half the country hates him and thinks he's doing a terrible job. And then he has to
pick up Aziz. Pick up.
I know politics is hard, Kamala, but have you ever done an ice bath?
Nothing comes close to archery. Nothing comes close to fucking a sauna, laser. What was that laser sauna thing he had? He used to always talk about. Remember, Rogan used to always fucking wank on about some fucking laser sauna thing. Jesus Christ, man. What a guy. Ice baths, like the toughest thing ever done. Do you remember he used to talk about ice baths humbling him? Being like a rich dude, like an ice bath was the thing that kind of made him like a regular guy because of some form of struggle, artificial struggle for a guy that has everything and life is, he's been living life on easy street since he's fucking 30. And he takes these ice baths to make, life a bit, to throw a little spanner into the situation. So funny, man, honestly. He thinks he's really accomplishing something by taking a cold bath. I fucking love Rogan, man.
talk publicly live, then I think those cognitive problems were sort of elevated.
That makes sense.
I think that's the same with her. So I think that's the same with her when she's on Fox with Brett Breyer. I think it's hostile environments. I think it's large crowds. I think it's a lot of things where you don't get to see the real person. So that was my goal. My goal was to try to meet the real person. Just like I did with Trump, just try to meet and talk with the real person. And my goal was, what I really wanted to do, we talked about this quite a bit, me and my manager, of doing it on the same day. And my manager, she agreed. She's like, this would be the perfect way to set it up. Like, we both agree, put them both out at the same time, go watch them all, see what you think. That would be the ultimate way to do it. But they never agreed to do it. So all this shit that's in that book that they never talked to us, just not true. Maybe it's someone's trying to preserve their job. Maybe someone's trying to say, hey, it wasn't my fault. They became difficult. No, we didn't become difficult. And the other thing was, like, they wanted to do it that Saturday.
A little bit difficult. If you're giving them one date, if you're not budging on the location, if you're not okay with them having a stenographer and staff in a room, you're a little bit difficult, isn't it? It's a little bit difficult too. I know Rogan's got his way or the highway, but that is a form of difficulty, You're not meeting them in the middle a little bit. Let's be real.
The day after Trump, and I said, I'll do it, but it has to be at 8:30 a.m. The reason why was I had a podcast already scheduled that was a live UFC podcast. So we do this thing called Fight Companion. So there was this title fight that was happening in, I think, was it Saudi Arabia? Or was it Dubai or Abu Dhabi? It was somewhere in the Middle East, I believe, if I remember correctly. See if you can find out what that was, just so we're clear. I have friends
Oh, you gave young Jamie a bit of a stern look there.
I flew in 3 of my buddies from California, and we were all going to do this podcast.
So basically, it's confirmed. Do you know that, by the way? Do you guys know that that's the thing? Part of being a guest on Rogan's show is that he flies you in, puts you up in a hotel, you have ground transport, and you get flown back. It's pretty cool, isn't it, when you're a guest on there? So you get a chance to fucking, increase your viewership, get more clout and shit, maybe end up getting more money off the back of that clout, and he also flies you out, put you in a hotel, so it's no expense to you whatsoever. He makes it as easy as possible for you to go on the show. I really fucking like that. That's really fucking cool. That is, oh really? Yo, Chris Mack, he flies you out first class too. That's fucking sick. You know what I also love, by the way? Back in the day, I remember when Ari Shafir used to do his podcast, what's it called again? Something Skeptic Tank. I really missed that show. I'm not gonna lie. That was actually one of the best comedy podcasts out there. Ari Shafir Skeptic Tank. You know what he used to do? He used to give people like 200 quid, $100 here and there. Like not here and there, but most of the time, $100, 200 quid as a guest to come on the show. It was a really nice gesture, especially when it was like a stand-up comedian that was struggling. You'd see how appreciative they were because literally they don't make any money, especially ones that were coming up. But I don't think a lot of these guys pay their guests or even give them fucking money for a cab. You know what I mean? Like, so it's really cool that he does that. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm assuming a lot of people don't do that sort of stuff. And probably maybe some episodes, even if he flies you out and puts you up in a hotel, maybe some episodes don't even make the money back. You know what I mean? So he's like he's in the hole for it, but just for a conversation, fuck it. So yeah, I love that. That's a really cool approach from Rogan.
Together, like we had committed to doing this. Like they were already in town. Like I can't just say no, guys. I can't do this awesome thing because I have to interview Kamala Harris.
No, I understand.
Seems like I should to some people, but that's because you're
big up Assad disease. Couldn't interview a potential presidential candidate because I had to get drunk and watch fights with Brian Callen and Papa. Exactly. Priorities, man. Priorities.
You're in the politics business. I'm an MMA commentator. This is part of my job. And I said I would do it. I said I'll do it, but it has to be like 8:30 in the morning because I have to be done by the time the fights start. That's reasonable. Yeah. They didn't do that either. So this idea that I sabotaged her, there's a bunch of people that say I fucked her over or whatever. That's not true. So you can think whatever you want, but
okay, cool. Anyway, we got the gist of it. Joe Rogan did nothing wrong. He did everything correct. Joe Rogan did nothing wrong. He did everything correct. Kamala Harris bad. Democrats bad. Donald Trump good. Donald Trump perfect. We get it. We fucking get it. Moving on. Let's quickly finish the short show. Let's quickly go on to the current events section because I think we didn't finish that, and then we'll carry on as well. I think current events was somewhere down here, right? Current events. Let's see what he's saying about current events, and then we can continue on. Yeah, cool. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel.
.com, promo code Brendan. You're welcome. Let's get back to the program. What else you got, Jen?
As I was saying earlier, Dana White in the press conference, the post-fight press conference, said that someone asked him about Khamzat coming to the States, and Dana says now. He goes, yeah, he's able to come in. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So that could be a fight with Dricus or Strickland in the States, possibly.
That's good.
Yeah. Let's do this one. This one just came out. Ring Magazine said that Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is likely happening in September for the Riyadh season, but in Vegas.
Wow, they're gonna do it in Vegas. Oh, that's the power of Canelo. He's got to fight for you, but I only fight in Vegas. Wow, that's big. That's big. I assume Canelo be an underdog in that.
I could see real quick.
Nice bit of dead air.
Versus Crawford.
That's a big old fight. Boxing needed that, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, this one for sure is one that everyone wanted.
Okay.
Minus 185 favorite for Canelo.
Great show.
Plus 155 underdog for Terrence. That's
close fight. I love both of them. I'll be cheering for Canelo, though.
Both.
All right, some bout announcements. Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg.
That's a fun one.
Headline UFC Mexico City.
Boy, Erceg, they've just rushed that title shot. That's a good one for him, though.
Yeah. That's March 29th.
All right.
Also, Kevin Holland goes back down to welterweight to fight Gunnar Nelson, which I haven't heard of in a long time.
Wow.
He's actually on a 2-fight win streak, which I didn't know.
He just hasn't fought in a while.
Yeah, since 23. So.
Yeah, Kevin Holland needs to win bad.
Yeah.
They're not going to cut him. He loses this one. They still won't cut him, but you're on. He's too much of a fan favorite. I hope they don't.
Okay. A couple more. Mauricio Ruffy, who's the guy that everyone compares to Conor McGregor.
Oh, yeah, he's fun.
He's a badass. He's going to fight King Green.
Oh, that's a great fight.
At UFC 3-on-3.
Wow. Sean Shelby been busy.
And then
great insight again.
there's a rematch.
By the way, great. I like it how like Chin's saying more words than him during this whole segment. He's meant to be the kind of the commentator. So he's meant to be the host. He's meant to be the whatever. And Chin is actually saying more words about these stories than Brendan is. He's like, whoa, wow, that's a good fight. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, bro, can you add more insight? Can you maybe opine a little bit more? Elaborate, whatever. Come on, dig a bit deeper. No, it's just, oh, wow, great, amazing. We love this.
Match, Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. Vettori won the first one, but they will also be rematching in March.
Yeah, Vettori's been out for a hot second, too.
Mm-hmm.
See Michael Van Page say he wants to go to 205?
Yeah. And what do you think of him fighting Yuri? That's he wants fun fights like that.
I love that for him. I love it for him because he doesn't have the ability to be champ at 85 or at 70, but I do think
Face it, Chin. He's not into you.
Big up young old vibes. Big up young old vibes. I think Chin is likely to go down with the ship more than Brian Callen is. Even though Brian Callen is like a real Brendan cock gobbler, right? Cock holster. But I really do think Chin is even more loyal to Brendan than fucking Brian. Chin secretly loves Brendan. Loves him. He's definitely going down with the ship. He's there for the fucking long term. Even if Brian was to leave, Chin wouldn't leave. He loves Brendan.
He has the ability to be just a superstar and just a fun guy. Kind of like a Cerrone or an Nate Diaz, like one of those guys, but he's obviously not as weathered as them. But at 205, like, remember
those lips, bro. Those lips look so fucking plump. He's definitely got them fucking pumped up as well. Or maybe it's an allergic reaction to something he drinks, but they look very very round. More so than ever.
Remember, you typically 170, went up to 85 just for the fucks of it to fight Share a Bullet. Beat him easily, didn't get touched. He's like,
Share a bullet. Share a bullet. I love it.
I'll go up to fucking 205 fight Yuri. I'm all about it as long as they're not like, right, after Yuri, here's Jan. It's like, well, that's not what I'm doing. Whoa, be cool. Him versus Yuri is great.
Strikers, yeah, that's why
it has to be strikers.
Yep.
Like, do that. He's a superstar. Great dude, too. Superstar.
Yeah. And he mentioned, too, on, I think, the post-fight conference, that, because he's so flashy and so amazing, but he says he still has that feeling of being in the UFC. Like,
Yo, big up.
What's he gonna do? Volume punch me, MF?
Exactly. Big up NJ Ranger.
Can't really he wants to win,
UFC jitters are real, bro.
Yeah.
Unless you're Dominic Cruz. Listen to Dominic, not me, but I would say UFC jitters are real unless you're an absolute monster like Dominic Cruz.
Dominic Cruz, yeah.
But it's real. You're in the big show.
This one as well.
Your local play to Broadway, okay?
What?
Nothing.
So Alejandro Pantoja, reportedly, he's going to fight Kai Kara France at UFC 314.
Man, I wish I cared.
I hear you, dude. How about this, man? We haven't seen this guy in a long.
How can you say you just don't care about a fight? Like, what type of show is that? Like, I understand you can not like the fights and not be like, but surely you have an opinion on it if this is what pays your bills. You have no opinion. Like, you just get bored of fights. He has a very casual opinion on stuff. That's something that you think a casual would say. A casual only wants to see the big fights, the most exciting fighters, but you're meant to be like an insider, an analyst, somewhat, a commentator, right? A former fighter that's seen it. As he says, that scene has such has been made. And he just like writes up cards. So surface level. Big up Asadices.
Yuri gotta throw caution into the river B. He's the big fish and Mika Vimpage is the guppy. The guppy got some teeth on him though. Great fight.
Long time. A Tyrone Spong. Remember he had a shaved head? He's got a huge, like, long locks. Tyrone Spong.
Who's inspo? Jesus Christ. He grew some locks.
Dude, he looks
gorgeous.
Yeah, looks crazy.
My word.
But yeah, so Karate Combat posted this. Like, he is interested in doing Karate Combat because he's like a great kickboxer. And it'll fit. So he's down to do that.
Jeez, he's not even saying words. He's just nodding. Fucking hell, Chin is doing all the heavy lifting on this show. He's not even saying words. He just nods. No opinion on this. No insights. No nothing. Zero. No hot take. Just nodding. Yeah, true. You're right, Chin. Fucking hell. And he talks about being a hard worker, hustling. He's so fucking lazy. The most fucking bare minimum, guy you ever seen in podcasting. Jesus Christ.
Trying here, Brandon. I'm trying.
Yeah.
So Rashad Evans, apparently he was added to the GFL draft, and he said that he didn't actually.
Oh, be cool, Brendan. Wasn't Rashad Evans the one that called out Brendan for saying the cast of ESPN was too black? It was like a DEI sort of thing. Wasn't he the guy? Let's see what Brendan says about Rashad Evans, because I think that was the guy that called out Rogue Brendan for being a bit a racist, allegedly. Let's see what he says about Rashad Evans.
He didn't co-sign. He was like, they just put it up there.
Oh, weird. I work for the GFL, so I was there. I know how this goes.
Okay.
Love Rashad. Rashad, you know this. Now let me speak some truth on how it went down. Also, this thing, Rashad Evans trashes GFL. Didn't trash GFL.
No, he didn't trash.
Here's how this goes, y'all. You're crazy if you think Darren, the guy who runs the GFL, would just randomly put fighters' names to get drafted without their consent.
Like you put random people's names on posters without telling them they were going to be on the show, and then they saw it and then said they're not going to be on the show like they did with Theo. He's acting as if this never happens before. Especially if you're a startup company, you don't ask for permission, you ask for forgiveness. So I can see why GFL will do that, hoping that, Rashad Evans will be down. I love whenever he joins a company. Before he was trashing GFL, now because they're paying his salary, he's now he's now white knighting for them. But if he wasn't involved, he would be more on Rashad Evans' side. He can definitely be bought and sold so easily. If you pay Brendan, he would just defend you just because you pay him, or if you're nice to him. No, forget paying. If you're nice to Brendan, if you suck him off and make him feel like he's a fucking smart person, he'll definitely go out of his way to protect you. This is so ridiculous. As if GFL are incapable of trying to be cheeky and put Rashad Evans into the draft, hoping he sees it and then he might be down. That's obviously possible. I would do that even if I was running a company. Imagine that they were trying to reach out to Rashad Evans through his proper channels, through proper contacts. They weren't getting a reply that they wanted, or they weren't getting any response. So they thought, you know what? Let's just throw his name in this and hope that he sees the, attention, the views it's getting, and maybe it kind of piques his interest. That's entirely possible. I'm not sure why he's acting like that isn't possible that could never happen. Is that what?
You can't do that. It's a terrible look. What he deals with, he doesn't deal with the fighters one-on-one.
Oh, damn it. Pick up Asad Aziz. That wasn't Rashad. That was Eve Edwards. Okay, cool. Fuck. I thought that was Rashad Evans. Pick up Asad Aziz.
And some of them he does. Other fighters, like Rashad, have their agents deal with it. The agents represent many big-name fighters. Darren, I saw with my own eyes, got consent from Rashad's manager that he was in for the draft. So is this a GFL issue, or is this a management issue on Rashad's part? Now, to be fair to Rashad, who I absolutely love and adore and did a lot for my career, Rashad, you know this. I'm not hating on Rashad. Rashad might not be aware of any of this, and the manager's like, yeah, he's in, and didn't know that he has a boxing match with Rampage in New Mexico at a bar down there.
Look how... Why is he like this, by the way? Why be like that? Why say that little cunty thing at the end there? He's fighting in a bar in New Mexico. Why say that? And then when someone claps back, he acts like, I don't know, he acts all surprised, he acts like the victim. Why be like that? Why say the type of thing? He loves to dish it out, but he can't take it.
Again, no shade. It looks like a bar on the promo. I don't know. I love Rashad and Rampage. I'm just being silly. I don't know what it is.
I blame you all. Should have let him do his lil. Cheese.
Beans. Pick up. Young Lord vibes.
Fucking Alamo bar thing. Do you, bro? People are gonna love it. I hope you make $1 billion. When it comes to GFL, I saw the names. I saw the communication between.
I saw. How do you say saw like that? Why are you adding L's to words that don't have L's in it?
Do you, bro? People are gonna love it. I hope you make $1 billion. When it comes to GFL, I saw the names.
This like cunty, condescending, like thing that he does is really irritating too, isn't it? When he thinks he's right and he's like, he does his little looks and shit. It's like, brother, man, like, are you trying to like antagonize your viewers? Like, just say things, you know? It's such a weird way to like have a show where it's almost like you're trolling your, like, what? Like, why are you being cunty to like people that watch you talk about MMA and boxing and shit? They just want to get your opinion on it because you're a former fighter. That's what they want to do, right? They're not really bothered about you being right or something. It's like, no one cares.
I saw the communication between managers and the head of GFL.
Exactly, Koila. He went from crap talking GFL to being their CEO. Exactly.
So he's assuming, again, it's not Darren's job at GFL. He's dealing with your representation. If your agent, your representative, tells the owner of a fight league you're down to fight, you assume they're aware of it, they're down to fight. This isn't a GFL problem. This is the agent management problem. And again, it might even be the Rashad problem. He might have been in fucking Florida eating vegan, doing what the hell he's doing, and they just added his name and he had no clue. It could be that. So
Again,
then
another necessary shot there.
He's like, I'm not. Let me be clear. The only commitment I have is to lay your ass out in April. That's the fight in the Alamo bar place. I was added to this without my consent. You ain't off the hook that easy. I was added to this without my consent. Wrong. Because your agent has the power to give your consent, and he gave the consent. So GFL added you to the roster board. You got drafted. Any other brain busters? Love you, Rashad. So any of these...
Worst friend to have, by the way. He's the worst friend to have. He's so fucking fair weather. He's the worst friend to have. He's so fucking fair weather, isn't it?
Fighters been like, I had no clue. Well, your agent did. I saw the communications.
Again, I saw. So every fighter on the draft was agreed to go on there. They didn't make one mistake. GFL didn't pull one fast one. They're the most honest, noble company known to man, right? This new fight promotion. The most honest, noble man. They did everything by the book, everything to the letter. Fuck off.
So the GFL brass is assuming that your agent talked to you. It's not the GFL's brass job to call you and make sure that your agent who takes 10% confirmed all this with you.
Oh, shut up.
What else you got?
Okay, this is just for fun. I know it's not happening, but it's in the news. So Pereira was asking to fight Alexander Usyk in a boxing crossover match
right now.
I know, dude. There's like nothing. There's like nothing popping other than the.
What do you say, Sanaz? What do you say about Sanaz?
It's in the news. So Pereira was asking to fight Alexander Usyk in a boxing crossover match.
Yo, big up, Martinez.
Bro is a zesty chunt. Taking shots, no one likes him.
Exactly. That's how you can see why he's not well liked within the fighting community, and he's kind of like his own island. He doesn't really have friends, or he doesn't go to like gyms. He doesn't go to like open workouts. He don't have fights. People don't really like him for the most part. He's kind of all by himself. You can see why. Generally, he's easily unlikable, isn't it? He's easy to hate. That's the thing about him. I think even Theo said that, right? He's really easy to hate.
Match right now.
I know, dude. There's like nothing. There's like nothing popping other than the fight that's coming up this weekend. But I mean, obviously, it's just like fairy tale thing. But
yeah, not happening. What else you got, man?
Okay, you know what? It's all downhill from here. So
Seems like in other news, Alex Pierre believes in unicorns. What's your thought on that?
How about this? Ivanka Trump, just kidding.
Those are some Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So let's end with this one as far as current events. This is so Piotr Jan and Aljamain Sterling Aljamain Sterling are doing some sort of like tough reality thing, but Russian version. Merab was supposed to do it, but he couldn't do it, so then now Aljamain's replacing him. So this is Jan doing a fun little thing with.
Oh, by the way, I noticed something. Look, Chin's got a new laptop finally, isn't it? I noticed that just now. Where did I notice that before? That's her new laptop. I'm pretty sure I went to the Apple store the other day and I saw this. Or I saw. Yeah, Chin's got a new laptop finally. Chin's finally got a new MacBook Pro. Chin's finally got a new MacBook Pro. Brendan approved the purchase. Nice.
Thing, but Russian version. Merab was supposed to do it, but he couldn't do it, so then now Aljamain's replacing him. So this is Jan doing a fun little thing with Aljamain.
Oh, really? Big up Koila. That's his laptop. That's fucking hilarious.
He gave him an Oscar for.
That's funny.
For kicking Niam.
That's where all the hate on Aljo started.
Yeah,
and
but that's
cool. Got nasty from there. You're dealing with Russian bots. Poor guy. Is that it, Chin?
That's it, man.
All the hate is always bots, by the way. Russian bots, man. Jesus Christ.
That's it.
Enjoy the pay-per-view this weekend, 7 p.m. Pacific time. I will be in Austin, Texas, doing the Fight Companion with Mr. Joseph Rogan, Brian Callen, Matt Serra. Especially with Joey Diaz. Joey is actually sick, so they got Matt Serra filling in.
Didn't he say it was Theo before? He's such a fucking liar. Didn't he say it was Theo? Didn't he say it was Theo that going to be doing it? I swear he said it was going to be Theo. I swear he said it's going to be Theo.
Really adore. That's going to be a great time. So check out the Fight Companion on JRE YouTube. Then it'll be available on Spotify shortly after. That's going down this weekend, man. Enjoy the fights. If you're at Kings of the Hammer, I will be there on Thursday with my swap Power Stroke 6.0 Hummer. It's finally done. Fingers crossed. Tying up some loose ends today and tomorrow. But we'll be debuting it at Kings of the Hammer this Thursday. So if you're around.
Yo, big up Auntie Ashley in the chat. Big up Auntie Ashley in the chat. Wagwan, bang your chest. But yeah, man, he did say Theo was going to be there, didn't he? Let me actually find that clip on the Reddit. 1 second. I'm pretty sure he said Theo was going to be at the fucking thing. Bear with me a second here while I get it up. Bear with me 1 secundo if you don't mind. Bear with me one secundo, but I'm pretty sure he said Theo. He said Theo was going to be there. I'm not sure what happened. What happened? Huh? I thought you said Theo's gonna be there, bro. You fucking liar. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. See, there we go. Someone's got it. Someone's definitely got it. There we go. Right there. Pick up the person who uploaded this one. You got it right fucking there.
Yeah, he's fun.
He's such a character, man. You ever seen him on stage?
Nah, I never said his comedy. I gotta check it out.
Yes, this is the beginning of the episode with AB. And yeah, they mentioned Theo.
I'm doing stand up in Miami in February. So I'll let you know. Yeah, bro.
You sick of talking yet? Making the rounds?
Yeah, it's Breaking Some Bread podcast. Cool people.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah,
you're hitting the good ones though, man. I don't know if you got the same marketing team as Trump, but you're hitting all the big dogs. We gotta get you on Rogan, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's the next one.
That's our best friend. Yeah, that's our guy.
We're going to do it February 8th.
Next week.
Honestly, being that age and having better... I think as a man, being that age and having best friends is a bit weird. Or talking about somebody that you work with being your best friend is like... What happened to your actual best friends? The one you knew since high school? Or the ones that you maybe known since you were like, early 30s or something? Where are those guys? Do they exist? Or are all your best friends people who live in LA? And who happen to be famous and have loads of money?
We leave next week.
That's right.
Yeah, I just got he just hit me up for flights. Is Theo going to
do it with us?
Theo's doing it.
He is?
Yeah, you, me, Theo.
Oh, it's going to be good.
You see, he said it. Theo's doing it. You, me, Theo, and Rogan.
Just got he just hit me up for flights. Is
Theo going to do it with us?
Theo's doing it.
He is?
Yeah, you, me, Theo.
Oh, it's going to be good.
It's the four of us, and we just get one.
What a piece of shit. What a liar. Yo, big up Auntie Ashley.
Big up Asad Aziz.
Yes, exactly. Big up Asad Aziz all the time. Big up Asad Aziz all the time. Big up. But yeah, what a fucking liar.
Wow.
We get wild.
When is that one?
We watched
Next
the fights.
Saturday.
And we just
This Saturday?
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Where at?
February 8th.
At Rogan's in Austin.
In Austin.
Austin.
We're thinking about moving there.
That's a good spot, right? Real quiet, calm, peaceful spot, right?
You can get what you can get for a house there compared to what
It'd
you
be
can
dope
get
to
here.
get AB on the companion.
Hell yeah.
You might have to come with you guys.
Bro.
Yeah.
How great would that be?
Get a little wild with you guys, you know?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
amazing.
They're the funnest ones to do because there's no agenda. You just bullshit.
Nah,
the
we
fights
break
are
bread,
on.
right?
Whatever. Fuck this guy. What a fucking liar. Who would have guessed it? Brendan lying. Shock and awe. Shock and fucking awe. Let's continue. Let's do a couple more things on here. Which one we do? Let's do, what is it? Podcast screens, right? Where is all the podcast screens? Where is it? Where is all this shit? What are these videos I want to watch? Today's to try. There we go. Today's to try has a video about Brian Callen. Let's do the Brian Callen one. Brian Callen gets confronted by a Brendan Schaub hater. Big up two ladies to try. Let's see what he's saying. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel, please. I love ya, love ya, love ya.
The people that are good at talking and fighting?
Sure.
Okay. People that are very good at talking and fighting. Well, my co-host, for example, on Fighter and the Kid.
Oh, what's his name?
Brendan Schaub. Very funny. Very funny man.
Oh,
Cracks
he's
me up.
funny?
Very funny. Very strong.
Do you legally have to say that?
No.
All right, so Brian Callen just went on Matan Evans' podcast.
It's so good. Do you legally have to say that?
And I got to give Brian credit for going on here because this kid, he does not hold back, and he follows the Fighter and the Kid subreddit. You know, he's familiar with all the Fighter and the Kid lore. He's a homeless cat and a big fan of Brendan Schaub's comedy career. Like in the beginning of the podcast, he even referenced one of Brendan's classic bits from the Gringo Poppy.
You ever tried a Mexican cookie? It's like a chocolate chip with salsa all over it.
What the fuck's a Mexican cookie? What are you talking about? It's like a chocolate chip with salsa all over it? What are you talking about? What are you... I'm like, that's a
You need to repeat that. One of the best bits ever created. One of the best bits written in stand-up comedy history. I repeat, one of the best bits written in stand-up comedy history.
Salsa all over it.
What the fuck's a Mexican cookie? What are you talking about? It's like a chocolate chip with salsa all over it? What are you talking about? What are you... I'm like, that's a terrible idea. I'll take it.
Who would have introduced me to a chocolate chip cookie?
Chocolate chip with salsa all over it.
Somebody of Latin descent.
Where's Brendan Schaub from?
It's Schaub. You have to say his name right.
Brendan Schaub?
Yeah, Brendan Schaub.
I got introduced to it, and it's my favorite food.
Really?
Yeah,
From
the Mexican
Brendan?
cookie.
Oh, you know what, dude? You fucking led me down the rabbit hole, and I fell for it. And you're looking up like you don't know what you're saying.
I don't know.
See?
And Matan spent like half the podcast just roasting Brendan, and he kept trying to get Brian to admit that he's not funny, which Brian handled surprisingly well, considering just a few years ago he was really defensive of Brendan, and if somebody were to make fun of him, Brian would just lose his shit like he did with Bobby Lee, you know, when he thought he was running the Fighter and the Kid subreddit, and he just went off on him and threatened him. So that situation must have humbled Brian quite a bit.
I don't think so. I think because Brendan's not there, and this is kind of a trolley pod. But I don't buy this whole he handled it extremely well. The guy was dunking on him pretty good. And Brian was struggling to keep up in certain bits and going on his little tangents about being a man and all this malarkey. But yeah, I don't know. I disagree slightly. I think Matan kind of spanked Brian Callen. He did okay, but I don't think it was as an even match as Two to Try is making it out to be.
Because now he doesn't seem to get anywhere near as worked up about it. Like the fact that he doesn't flip out at Matan here shows he's come a long way.
Comedians I don't think are funny.
When did he ever flip out anybody? When he was on the show by himself? He's been trolled about Brendan before. When has he ever flipped out? He's been asked cheeky questions about Brendan before. Like he's never flipped out. Like where's this narrative that he flips out? It's Brian Callen. Who's he flipping out on?
You're friends with. Not okay. Let's go.
But
nobody answers. Every time I ask one of these stupid guys who's friends with Joe Rogan.
But to be honest with you, all my friends are funny.
No, they're not.
Oh, exactly.
Who do you think of my friends is not funny? Careful.
Fucking hell, man. All my friends are funny. Then you follow it up by saying, careful when you say who you think my friends are not funny. So you know some of your friends are not funny. Honestly, comedians and their inability to say what's not funny, but always talk about what is funny, is fucking insufferable, isn't it? They're always going on about who's hacky or they're always saying people are hacky and what the real comedy is and blah, 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 blah. But when you try and ask them point blank, hey, who's not funny to you? They don't know anyone to mention. Unless it's a safe person, like a Hannah Gatsby or someone. Someone safe who's a bit big, who's a little bit, detached from their scene, mainstream, then they can start sniping. But no one from their own little circle is crap or not good. Everyone's a beast. If you're their friend, you're a beast. If you're not their friend, then, you're not one of the guys. But if you're one of their friends, you'll always be a beast. Great guy, beast. Great guy, beast.
I think it's integral for a successful podcast to have a good co-host. Okay, let me phrase it like this. Is Theo Vaughn funny?
Yes.
He's very funny.
Yes.
Is your co-host funny?
I think my you mean on the Fighter and Kid?
You didn't say.
Wait, on the Fighter and Kid?
Theo Vaughn funny?
On
We know
the
the answer.
Fighter and Kid?
The Fighter and the Kid.
He's very funny.
No, he's not.
Oh, come on. You don't even listen to the podcast. You get your information from the community.
Another lawsuit.
No. You should be listening.
Another lawsuit. That was good. Another lawsuit. Exactly. For people that are bastions of freedom of speech, I like how no one mentioned it, by the way. No one spoke up about Brendan trying to cancel or trying to silence people. These supposed bastions of fucking freedom of speech are okay with letting this guy silence people because they don't think he's, don't think he's funny or they take the piss out of him. Fucking hell.
To the Fighter and the Kid.
Is this how you expected this episode to go today, or no?
Yes.
You did?
I did.
Well, then good on you for showing up.
Come on, bro. We're here, man.
Yeah, so Brian was actually being a good sport about it, but I'm sure Brendan probably won't be too happy with this appearance. Even though I think this helped Brian win some people over and was one of his funnier podcast appearances. Like, even people on the Fighter and the Kid saw about it were saying that, and they thought he did a good job rolling with the punches. And Matan, he also kept talking about the subreddit, and Brian figured out that he doesn't even watch the podcast at all, but he keeps up with the subreddit, which obviously Brian is a little insulted by, but again...
I think he did okay. I think the homeless cats are glazing Brian a little bit. He did okay. I think for the most part, Matan had him on the ropes. He did all right. He did all right. And plus, Callen has a kink of like being cucked and simped a little bit anyway, So he probably enjoys getting like kind of razzed a little bit. So yeah, it wasn't as good as people were making it out to be. Just relax.
He handles it pretty well. He mostly just finds it funny. I mean, at this point, how could you not just laugh at it? That's what Brendan needs to learn to do. I mean, at least their show is still entertaining people in a way. I mean, ironically, Brendan's responsible for some of the funniest moments in podcasting or comedy. Like, some of the stuff he gets himself into is just unbelievable. Like, the whole Trug Walk situation, nothing will beat that. The lawsuit, their fallout with Bobby Lee and everything to come from that. That was awesome. And another classic is when Brendan fired his Addy and Baddie wrangler, Mark Harley, and then he went rogue and joined the Fighter and the Kid subreddit and exposed Brendan for peeing in sinks, which then Howie Mandel called Brendan out for on his podcast.
So you posted the fact that we were going to be watching this. My Twitter feed lit up a little bit more to say, don't go to the bathroom there because you piss in the sink.
Where?
What?
And I thought he's a fucking Hell's Angel, by the way. I thought didn't he say he pissing in the sink, he feels like a Hell's Angel? Where's the Hell's Angel energy? Where's the badass energy? Where's the renegade 1%er, do what I want energy? And say, yeah, motherfucker, I piss in my sink. I pay for this, bitch. I pay the rent on here so I can piss where I want. Where's that energy? He's looking around, trying to cop please, looking for someone to help. Come on, I thought you were a Hell's Angel. Come on.
They said that you said this out loud.
Wait,
Does he piss in the sink here?
I've done it maybe once.
Okay, but that was the whole thing. Nobody's talking about the fight.
I've done it maybe once. It's an emergency. And he says, I love pissing in the sink. It makes me feel like a Hell's Angel. Many a times, as you were saying, many a times he said that. And because Howie kind of confronted him, he pussied out and said, I've only done it once.
Right, everybody was saying, Howie, how are you going to go there? He pisses in the sink. Brendan's talked about he pissed in the sink.
I had to pee in the sink one time. It was a state of emergency.
And then also there's the time Brendan hired kind of like a Make-A-Wish fan of his who just wanted to meet Brendan, but then Brendan convinced him to move out to LA and come work for him. So the kid probably thought his dreams came true, but then only like a year into it, I guess Brendan realized he wasn't really doing anything for the show, or he couldn't afford him or something. So he fired him on like Christmas Eve and pawned him off on some other podcasters. Now he's just being...
Oh yeah, I forgot it was Christmas Eve. I forgot it was then as well. Horrendous time to fire somebody, man. Someone that actually looked up to you as well. Fucking hell. He turned one of his biggest fans into one of his biggest haters.
and passed around. Like, first I saw him on John McCarthy's podcast, you know, one of the refs for the UFC.
Big up Asad Aziz. Welcome to Showbiz, George. Exactly.
And now I think Joey Diaz is stuck with him.
But then you say Leon, but then he's
Brother,
got
who this guy? He don't have question. He just listen us.
Yeah, he just produces this. He listens to us.
Go find something to do. Go play in traffic.
Go play in
Knock it off with the phone, George. Knock it off, please. For Christ's fucking sake.
But I'm doing good, dude.
Yeah, so because Brendan felt like he needed to try to make this kid's dreams come true, now these other podcasters are stuck with him. I mean, everything Brendan does unintentionally is hilarious, which is why even some of Brian's comedy friends keep up with all Brendan's controversy. You know, they do the same thing as Matan. They don't watch the podcast, but they'll follow the subreddit.
Do you listen to Fighter and the Kid?
I don't listen.
See, I knew it. You went like this. You went which means no.
I don't listen to the full episodes, but
there's so much nuance that you can't.
Well, I listen to. I hear about it from different sources.
So you're hearing a third party, dude.
I'll tell you this: I'm a big part of the community.
Are you talking about the underground community? You son of a bitch.
It's Reddit.
Listen, Matan.
Reddit is not underground, man. I love how these comedians are so scared of the internet. They're so scared of social media. They're so scared of people who don't just suck them off and tell them they're funny that they think of Reddit, they think of replies as like the dark web or something. Like, it's one of the biggest, it's probably the biggest forum in the world. Like, everybody uses it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, God almighty, the underground. Like we're all these weird fucking hackers in like cyber cafes or in like industrial buildings with like computers hanging off from the ceiling with go faster glasses. Like, it's not that deep, brother.
Matan. I love that name. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You're changing the conversation.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I got carried away. Okay, listen to me.
There's a couple 100,000 of us now.
You're part of that community?
I started
bet you
it.
that guy is too.
And
you started it?
Oh, you know what email I use too?
Which?
You know.
What is it?
Which email is that?
Tiger Belly.
Listen,
he's so
listen to me
fucking
right
dumb.
now.
He
I got some information.
See, this is why I have the great podcast, because nobody else would talk to you like this.
I know, and I appreciate it. And
Yeah.
it's good that we're getting this out there.
Yeah.
Now look, Tiger Belly.
Now that I mentioned that, are you gonna call me after this and threaten to kill me?
Jesus Christ.
No,
never.
I would guess that that's something you might do.
No, I would never do that. That was when I was 40. That was when I was 48, bro. I've grown up.
This
Be
episode
honest.
might do good.
Yeah, it'll do very well.
It'll be seen by hundreds of thousands on a brand new platform.
What's that platform called? If you say Reddit, I'm gonna freak out.
We both know it's Reddit. What am I bullying you?
Damn it, you're bullying me right now.
And it seems like the Fighter and the Kid subreddit has been pretty quiet recently. You know, like Brendan's been staying out of trouble. But now I think he's moving to Austin to get closer to Rogan. So
I made that point the other day. Didn't I, huh?
So that can make things interesting again. And maybe it'll get him back into stand-up. You know, Rogan just needs to let him perform at the mothership. But so far, he's refused to do.
I don't want him to perform at the mothership. I want Brendan to start from scratch. That's the best part of it. The best thing for us that watch this sort of shit is for Brendan to actually give it a proper go. I don't want to see him get fast-tracked. It's not going to be fun. It'll just be the same diatribe he had before. I want to hear the stories of Brendan actually trying to earn his stripes. That's going to be far more interesting. If Rogan's like, no, I love you, you're my friend, but if you want to perform in my club, you have to do open mics. You got to go to Kill Tony and be a regular there. You got to do fucking the potluck show, all that sort of shit. I think that would be way more beneficial to us fucking detractors, because he's definitely going to serve up some fucking amazing dishes. So hopefully Brendan gets back into stand-up when he goes to Texas, but hopefully he does it the quote-unquote right way, because it's going to exhaust him, it's going to piss him off, he's going to have a superiority complex, he's not going to be humble about it, and he's probably going to fall out with a bunch of people too and upset people, rub other comedians up the wrong way. So I can't wait to hear some comedians in the Austin scene with anonymous accounts go on the fucking homeless cat subreddit and be like, yeah, Brendan's been at the club a few times, he's a fucking douche, he parked his fucking Hummer at the front of the fucking store. You know what I mean? At the club, sorry. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for it.
Do that, which is funny considering Rogan is the one that got Brendan into stand-up. So I think he should give Brendan a shot, but I guess we'll see. So also during this podcast, Brian, he admitted that the Fighter and the...
Oh, you think so? Big up Quayla. I like that theory. Colin says Austin has a lot of car guys. He's gonna hide from the mothership and hang with them. Do you think so? You think he's gonna try his best not to go to the mothership and like be with a whole other group of people? That'd be really weird though, if he's in the same fucking city as Rogan, doesn't go to the club much unless he's invited, or unless he's playing, and also tries to like fake friendship with these like other dudes who live in. It's like what? Not sure how that works.
The kid has fallen off, so at least he can be honest about it. You know, it seemed like all the stuff he went through, like getting canceled and working for Steven Crowder and then the Bobby Lee stuff, you know, I think that all probably humbled him, and now he's just like whatever.
Are you saying that my
podcast is not successful?
Brian has always been like this when he goes on shows and someone's being silly. He can play off it pretty well. This isn't because of getting cancelled. This is what he kind of enjoys anyway. He thrives off of these type of improv silly type of interviews and shit.
Your podcast
yours
is more successful than mine. Now, my podcast used to be way more successful than yours. You know this, but you're too young to remember that.
Oh no, I've been there from the beginning.
Well, not really.
I have.
Well,
I've been watching the start. I've been
no, because you were.
Eventually, I unsubscribed.
You did,
but I subscribed to a different page.
You unsubscribed to my fucking podcast.
Jesus Christ!
I unsubscribed from the YouTube. I subscribed to the Reddit.
That doesn't help.
You deal with the worst co-host every week.
That's fucking not true.
Why'd you almost laugh at that? That's
because you don't watch the podcast, so
Yes, I
how
do.
would you know that?
I might keep up with you more than you.
Okay, who was the last guest?
Brandon.
No, see, fucking wrong. I just got you.
You guys can't get guests anymore.
We get guests.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
you guys got
We've had some problems, but yeah.
But yo,
Things haven't been what they were.
Wow. We've had some problems. Madness. But I wonder, what do you think causes them, if you had to guess, guys, in the stream chat, what do you think causes them to not have as many guests or good guests as in the past? Do you think it's people not wanting to be on a podcast with Brian because of his grape allegations? Or do you think it's people not wanting to be on a pod with Brendan because they think he's lame? What do you think has changed people's reception to them? Is it the rape allegations and Bobby Lee and stuff, or is it simply because people don't think much of them?
You think that is?
Because of some decisions. All right, what are you doing? Is that a victory thing?
I'm manifesting bad on you and your family and your
Jesus
kids and your wife
Christ.
and your mother.
Why are you doing that?
Also, at one point, Matan asked Brian who his favorite comedians are, and he said Rogan was one of them, which is ridiculous. Like, there's no way he actually believes that. I mean, most people, if they were to say that, I would think they're joking. So Matan tried to get him to admit that Rogan's not a good comedian, and that was what Brian was probably most taken back by during this podcast. He couldn't believe someone would think Joe's a bad comedian, or it's more like he couldn't believe that someone isn't scared to admit that Joe's a bad comedian.
Everyone says
and it's
that,
so
though.
funny. Instead of Brian explaining why he should respect Joe's comedy, or just being like, no, I actually believe Joe's funny, he just says, well, Joe could destroy your podcast if he wanted to.
God.
Like, Matan should be careful about upsetting Joe, like all of Rogan's comedy friends who don't find him funny either, but won't admit it.
Sebastian Maniscalco's hilarious.
Okay, so
I have a lot of famous friends. Joe Rogan, I can keep going.
Well, I said, okay, well, let's move on to the next segment.
Sorry,
Who now the 5 least funny? So now you can get to those guys.
That's a fucked up question, bro.
It's a smart question.
But it's a
you
smart
already,
question.
You already have one in there
It's
so
a
far.
smart question.
Yeah. You already have the first one.
Wait a minute.
I'm just assuming that you knew that was the next question. That's why you said guy at the end.
Dude, let me explain.
I'm just,
Matan, do you understand he could make one phone call? He could open his fucking window and whisper, and this whole podcast goes away?
Oh, are we talking about Brendan Schwab or Joe Rogan?
We're talking about Joe Rogan.
Yo, big up Josie in the chat. Big up Josie. They seen how they treated Bobby. The allegations didn't help, and they can't do anything for them anymore. No one is watching, so what's the point? That's the key point there, actually. They can't do anything for them anyway. That's a very good point. I think that plays a bigger role in their decisions of what pod to go to. I think because comedians, stand-up comedians especially these ones that are Rogan adjacent, they love to talk about, how everything is like spontaneous and how they're just like hanging out with their friends, and it just happens to be cameras and microphones in front of them. They're just shooting the shit, and it's just organic and da da da. But there's been a bunch of them who don't agree, So I think in this case, you are definitely right. You are definitely right. Especially because I remember Mark Norman once moaning on Tuesdays with Stories about how when he went on Rogan, he didn't get the bump that he thought he was going to get. So I think a lot of these comics, even though they pretend or they lie, they are way more interested in the numbers than they like to give on. You know, they care about the numbers. They care how much they did and didn't do. You know. So yeah, I think that probably explains more why they're not there, as opposed to some sort of moral, principled stance against, like, you know, R words and stuff. No, it's just because you know someone like that back in the day, they did get their life together, and sometimes it can work out, but most of the time it doesn't.
Rogan.
Oh, I love Joe Rogan. He's funny. Oh, but he's in that top 5, the second list. So
Yeah, big up Brandon Mallory. Is Random Show more Rogan adjacent or Bappa adjacent? It's my nuts adjacent. Get it? No? Okay, cool.
Now finish the next 4.
And if Joe actually has a good sense of humor, he would have Matan on his podcast. I mean, that would make for a great episode, you know, because there aren't many people that go on there and aren't afraid to troll him or bust his balls. So when it happens, it's hilarious. Like Mark Normand, he'll make fun of Joe. And Harlan Williams, last time he was on there, he trolled Joe most of the podcast. So hopefully we get to see that with Matan. And Brian actually ended up putting in a good word for him when he went on there.
You know that kid Matan?
No. Oh wow!
He's that kid, the Israeli kid who's like 17 years old and a complete troll. I did his podcast; it was so fun. But he's just like that. Those kids at that age, they are about just. There's no reverence to anything.
No,
they want to tear it all down.
Yeah, so hopefully that happens, or Brian invites Matan on the fighter.
But it's not even kids. It's not even kids though. Everyone wants to tear that shit down. No one rates these motherfuckers. Like they do live in a bit of a bubble. These guys, isn't it? Like outside of their little bubble of sycophants and stand-up comedy fans, no one really likes them, really, you know? Let's be real.
The kid, that would make for a great episode too, and just not tell Brian who he is and just have him show up and see what happens. I mean, that would definitely be one of their most viewed podcasts in a while, and I think people would probably gain some respect for Brendan. But let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments.
Yeah, exactly, Koila. Still, these guys live in 2008, exactly. And I love how they don't realize that they're the establishment now. Because in 2018, when they were ragging on the fucking mainstream media, we believed them. Even before that, 2015, 2014, right? You could believe that they weren't the mainstream media. They were the alternative media source or the alternative news source. But now they are the mainstream media. Now people are getting their news, unfortunately, from places, from pods like Rogan's. So, you know, them acting as if like that's not the case and they are other or something is fucking bizarre. But hey, what do we know? What do we know? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So let's go on. I want to quickly get on that Bill Burr one where, no, the podcast cringe one where he's talking about Bert Kreischer. So let's go to podcast cringe. Big up everybody tuning in. If you like the show, please like the stream down below. Help me out. Like the stream down below. Subscribe to the podcast. I'd be greatly appreciated. Or the channel, sorry. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, let's do this one. New podcast cringe. When a hack comedian meets a humble rock star. I'm not gonna lie. Travis Barker is kind of annoying and a bit repetitive himself. He has, you know, his same fucking stories he tells on every fucking podcast. Comes across as a good dude, don't get me wrong. But I'm interested. Oh my god, look at the thumbnail. Look at how is that that's not altered, is it? Look at Bert's face. Oh my god. He is fucking bloated and full of booze, isn't it? Look how red he is. Let's actually go to his Instagram. Where's Bert's Instagram? God, oh my, he looks like pure shit. Bert Kreischer Instagram. Where is he? There he is. He looks like pure shit. Fucking hell. He looks awful. I've always said that he's gonna end up outliving Rogan. I'm not too sure now, you know. I think someone like Bert is so annoying. He's got that kind of luck, you know. Is he wearing a Nike Tech fleece? Okay, he's got that kind of luck where like he doesn't take care of his body. He's very reckless, but I think he'll end up outliving Rogan, you know. But now I'm not too sure. Let's see. What's he posted recently? What's he posted about? Oh, one of these fucking ads. Okay.
That's fucking incredible. In celebration of the big game, I'm doing the ultimate mashup. A Philly cheesesteak with Kansas City barbecue. I don't know who's going to be more mad. Philly fans for ruining a cheesesteak or Kansas City fans for ruining great barbecue. Here we go. Here's how we get started. First, I want to get some onions and some peppers in there. So I throw in a little onions, a little EVOO, and it's sizzling already. Some more onions and some more peppers. And I like to use both hands, break that up with my tongs while I put them in. And we get those cooking really nice. While I do this, I like to cut my bread. I get a bread knife, and I get...
Why are we seeing this shot then? If you're going to pretend that it was a shot where you were if you're going to have actual chefs cook it, but they look like it's you, why then have this shot? Like, I don't get this. You know? I don't get this.
Great bread. And I got to be very careful when I cut this bread. I try not to push way too hard because I don't want to cut my hand. But I got to push harder than that. There we go. Okay, perfect. I take that brisket, nice handful, and I just put it in the middle. I'm going to really get it in there. I'm going to use both hands while I do this.
Oh, you can't see anything? Shit, what, can you? Yeah, you can. It's on the... You can't see anything. You sure? It's on the screen.
I'm going to take a little second to open the can of Cheese Whiz. So I get a good scoop, I take the bread, and I place it on there, and I spread it. Nice. Oh, I like that. Cheese Whiz is the key to a good Philly cheese.
Jesus Christ, bro. What the fuck is that? That's meant to be cheese. That looks radioactive.
Steak. I lean forward and take a nice little lick. Hat back, lean forward, tongue out. Nope, spatula, further, Pete. All right, there we go. I'm just going to find it with my tongue. Oh, I love knife. Oh, I want to put mayonnaise on this. Nice. And then shoot a little squirt.
That's a fucking chin recipe there, isn't it? Cheese and mayonnaise. Fucking hell.
On there, I like to open it up and put those peppers in. Now I move the brisket around a little bit. Yeah, get it nice and hot and fill it up in that sandwich. Keep going. More brisket.
Why does it look so dry? Why does it look so like dry? Like there's nothing. You know, why is it so dry? I wonder why. Is that how Philly cheesesteak is made?
And I get all this. This is gonna be a fucking monster sandwich. This one's gonna be mine. I'm gonna take a little bite myself real quick. More forward. Oh, okay, yeah, that's perfect. Jason Kelsey, Travis Kelsey, you guys need to open one of these shops.
Look at that stomach, bro. Look at, honestly, 50 years old, talking with his mouth. Look at that belly. That's a hard belly. You know that belly's hard, isn't it? You touch that shit, that shit feels like one of the cameras behind him. Jesus Christ, that Nike tech fleece is fighting for his life, man. That zip is hanging on for dear life.
Kansas City brisket, Philly cheesesteaks, your cold beers, if you want. Get your liquor license. I know a vodka company. February 8th at the UNO Lakefront Arena. Me, Nikki Glazer, Tony Hinchcliffe, and Adam Ray as Dr. Phil. It's going to be an epic show with a lot of surprises.
Now I can't unsee it, innit? There's always loads of people. Look at the flyers. Like, there's always, okay, cool. There's one with him by himself, Double Down in Las Vegas, but look at all the other people on the flyer. Nikki Glazer, Tony Hinchcliffe, Adam Ray, Whitney Cummings, Miss Pat, Derek Stroop. There's always other people. It's never just him, innit? Fucking hilarious. Always other people. One more, then we move on to the episode. Let's do this one with Jelly Roll. Let's see what he said here with Jelly Roll.
What's up, y'all? I don't know if you remember it or not, but right around a year ago, around this time, I went on the Nelk podcast. I was tired of being overweight. I was tired of hurting. And I made an announcement that I was going to try to walk my first 5K with one of my best friends, Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, at the Two Bears 5K.
I love Jelly Roll. He's got the lexicon down, innit? He knows how to talk. That's why he's been taken in by that community. One of my best friends. Didn't you only meet Bert Kreischer like 2 years ago? Like, you know, like best friends. I love it. But he knows what to say. He's definitely good at fucking networking, at, you know, schmoozing, all that sort of malarkey. Bert Kreischer, one of your best friends, really?
Couldn't walk at the time, y'all. I could not walk at the time at all, hardly. I was over 500 pounds. I did it, y'all. And it was one of the most gratifying experiences. The man you see a year later is 120 something, 130 something pounds lower. And guess what I'm doing right now? I'm training for the next 5K, baby, and I want y'all to do it with me. We're going to start a Strava group, a support group. We're going to walk it together. It don't matter how long it takes. We're going to do this together. I'm back training for it today, and on my first day of training...
Bring up NJ Ranger.
One of my best friends overweight BC follow Chet.
Leave Jelly Roll alone. Let him do his thing. Leave Jelly Roll alone. We all can't be fucking schmoozers. We all can't be schmoozers. Sometimes you need schmoozers in the law. Big up a disease.
Just do the surgery and get on Ozempic, bruh. Walking a couple miles once a week after our binge drink lifestyle ain't saving you. Built like a water balloon.
That's a good point, yeah. Just get on Ozempic ASAP, please, for the love of God.
My brother who got this all started for me is with me, baby.
That's right, baby. We're going to be in Tampa, May 4th, Raymond James Stadium. We're going to end up after the 5K on the field. T-shirts, free beer, samplings of Porosos, Spartans organizing all this, and you will get a...
Honestly, isn't he bored of being this person? Like, promoting, showing, like... Fucking hell, man. Just like enough. Enough, bro. Enough. Anyway, let's watch how much enough it is. Let's go to this podcast cringe video. Where is it? There you go. Let's see what happened between him and fucking Travis Barker. Travis Barker. Big up everybody tuning in. Please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel.
There's like you, like Shane Gillis, like Joe Rogan. You
Nice
guys,
black flag
you guys
t-shirt.
are also
Nice black flag t-shirt.
rock stars. Like I hear all about it.
Today, I was in the grocery store.
God almighty. Look at him. He looks like a mess. He is so red. But it makes sense though, innit? Because he's been touring for a while, right? He's always doing shows. Like, look at these are all shows that he has coming up this weekend. And he's also been doing a bunch of shows. There's flyers everywhere. Loads of fucking flyers. Loads of shows. Like, what this stuff? Like, what is all this stuff? Happy Winston Churchill there. Yeah, I guess. Jesus. Anyway, let's continue. Where is it? I think it's there. Sorry, whoopsie. Is it there? Where is it? There you go.
I recognized, and I said to I was with Stacy, that lady you just met, and she goes, "It's because you're just loud. You're just a large person." I am pretty normal, but I do like fame, and I think it's gross. Talked about that in therapy.
Really?
Yeah.
The only thing Bert Kreischer loves more than being famous.
I love when Bert's actually with a proper famous person like Travis Barker, and then he comes across way more conceited, way more self-absorbed, way more egotistical. It's pretty fascinating, isn't it? When he's sitting across somebody who's legitimately famous, he comes across as the douche. He comes across as the fucking, as the insufferable one. It's fascinating, especially when you think of how niche his fame is. He still is way more insufferable than the fucking Travis Barker. Fascinating guy.
Famous and getting recognized in public is talking about being famous and getting recognized in public. And thank God he's got a podcast to discuss his fame and fortune on, otherwise none of us would know just how rich and fortunate he really is. It's also a safe space for him to talk to other rich and famous people where they can openly exchange notes and give each other advice on how to deal with being in the top 1%. But what happens when a top 250 comedy assassin meets a humble rock star?
You have no idea.
Bro went full Brendan Schaub in that one. But on the latest episode of Two Bears, One Cave, our boy Bert was flying solo with Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker, which ended up being a peach's delight thanks to their shared love of exercise, sobriety, and love of family, as well as their shared fear of flying, which I'll come to towards the end. As you can imagine, though...
That doesn't make any sense, because doesn't Bert famously say that he hates flying, but he medicates it or soothes his fear by drinking? And I also don't believe him, by the way. I don't believe this whole I hate flying thing. I think it's just one of those fake things he talks about to make himself sound relatable or to give him an excuse to drink. I don't actually think he hates flying because he's so obsessed with fame and he's just so obsessed with selling tickets. He knows going on a flight means more money and more tickets and more fame. So why would he hate it? You know, I don't buy that in the slightest. I don't buy it. I think he just says that to appear normal, and obviously says that to not appear like he's a fucking greedy bugger.
Bert was more interested in discussing life as a famous person because we know just how much he enjoys the perks of being a superstar comedian.
I enjoy just the idea that I could f other people.
Yeah, that's good.
Like I've never cheated on my wife, but the idea that I could,
yeah, it's good.
And I could get pretty hot.
Yeah,
like I kind of wish maybe I'll sign up for a Tinder just to show my wife who swipes right on me. You know how easy it would be for me, 20-year-old. I can impress her so.
He really does overestimate his worth in it and his stature. What a fucking. And again, you have a wife and you're saying this, right? Comedians are so bizarre, man. The things they get away with. Like, you have an actual wife at home. She's the mother of your children, and you're going on pods like embarrassing her like this, talking about her and your relationship in this way, disrespecting your relationship with her in this way. It's very, very lame, especially considering how nice Leanne Kreischer comes across. She comes across like a pretty decent person, and it's fascinating how she ended up with Bert. Don't get me wrong, she's lucked out in a way because she married essentially a millionaire, but you know, like, god damn it, man, she had to pay a price for sure. She definitely had to pay a price.
Much. Like, I could just take her, put her on a private jet. She'd be like, whoa. And then I'd be like, yeah, this is what we do.
Honestly, all I can say is I'm glad Bert doesn't have young daughters who might hear him say those things. That could get
there
really...
they are. They're the young daughters right there. They're the young daughters right there. I love that Bert's daughters, one of them looks like Leanne, one of them looks like him. Don't you find that funny? I find that so cool. One of them, that one there, looks like Leanne, and one of them looks exactly like him, but like a girl. It's so cool. It's so fucking cool how that ended up.
Fucking weird for them, you know? But publicly creeping on 20-year-old girls at the age of 55 aside...
Jesus Christ. He looks awful. Fucking hell. He looks so bad. Look at the difference between his hands and his face. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. Fucking hell. It won't be long until his hands, his hands will end up start looking like his face soon. It won't be long until his hands start looking like his face. Wow, bro. Fucking hell. And he's a multi-millionaire, you know, choosing to look like this, choosing to drink to this extent. There are homeless people that don't look as bad as Bert. Fucking hell, some restraint, brother. And I love how he's wearing he's the only one that actually wears the Poor Osos merch to sell more vodka. Like, I don't think I've seen many clips of Tom wearing a bunch of stuff. Maybe the hats, but Bert actually makes sure to wear the hoodies to promote his fucking shitty vodka.
Bert's conversation with Travis Barker was really interesting because we got to see the difference between a narcissistic, inflamed, talentless hack compared to a humble, healthy, talented artist. All right, sorry, just before we do that though, is it just me or is Bert red as fuck again?
Yep.
Seriously, what is going on with him? I thought he was working out and doing ice baths like Papa Rogan told him to, cutting back on the drinking and taking his meds. Why does he look like a beetroot doused in coconut oil? And thank God somebody else noticed as well. I can feel Bert's 195/153 blood pressure through the screen. Bert went from spray tan orange to heart attack purple. Bro seriously looks like he's gonna pop every single time he laughs. He reminds me of that Violet chick from Willy Wonka who blew up like a fucking blueberry and had to get juiced by Oompa Loompas. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to comedian versus rockstar.
Do you like fame?
I don't really think about it much.
You've been famous for my whole adult life.
Like, I feel like being able to throw 5Ks and raise money for like incarcerated firefighters or LAFD, I feel like that's cool. That's a cool way to use like people knowing who I am, but I don't really think of it other than that. You know?
Perfect response. Even if he's lying out of his fucking ass, that's a great response, right? You want to seem somewhat humble. You want to seem somewhat centered, somewhat level-headed, somewhat normal. That's actually a really good response, right? Even if he's lying. Let's see what Bert says.
You know, I don't know. I'm like a dad. I hang out with my kids and I go to the studio every day and run and exercise. Like, I think sometimes me and my wife, we're just like, we just want to be normal. Like, we pretty much live a pretty normal life.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
You know, hard to be normal when you're married to Kardashian, but I like his outlook and how he's trying to frame it. Look at, do you hear Bert already with his really? He already can't understand it. He doesn't get it. Bert is already bemused. He's bemused that someone like him wouldn't enjoy being famous or doesn't think about it every waking moment.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What if you don't? What if you're not normal? Like, okay, because today I was in the grocery store and I got recognized, and I said to I was with Stacy, that lady you just met, and she goes, "It's because you're just loud. You're just a large person." And the lady, I bought a bunch of steaks for my sister's birthday. The lady said, "Can I come to the party?" And I went, "Yeah." And then as she left, she said, "I'll see you tonight." And I said, "You better show up." And then everyone looks at me, and then they go, "Hey, Bert, what's up? Can you just go to the
Jesus Christ, bro. He really does enjoy all that shit, innit? He probably does it on purpose, or people hear him too. He probably does do it on purpose. Like, he'll say something or he'll laugh in a certain way, knowing people will recognize his voice or his laugh and turn and look. Like, he doesn't want to, because if he wanted to be incognito, he could. He definitely be incognito. He's not that famous, and he looks like a regular white dude, right? Or, you know, there's many people that look like him. Because you have his hood up and no one would notice him, but I bet you he does purposely speak loud in public spaces or in shops and stores and stuff so that people will recognize him. So fucking redacted.
grocery store?
I will, but like how you handled it, like you acted normal, right?
Yeah.
You were like, oh
Not
yeah,
really.
for sure, you go to the party, whatever. I feel like that's what you do, and then they just like, oh, it's just Bert. What up, Bert? You know what I mean? People just start to treat you like you're normal and like you want to be treated.
I am
you know?
pretty normal, but I do like fame, and I think it's gross. Talked about that in therapy.
Really?
Jesus Christ.
These famous Bert stories are getting out of hand, but they're also fucking hilarious. In literally every single Two Bears episode these days, he has a new story about being recognized in public, and they're always complete bullshit. No one has ever seen Bert cry.
Oh, really? What do you guys think in the stream chat? Podcast Chris doesn't even believe it happened. Podcast Chris thinks it didn't happen. There's a lie. What do you think? Do you think he's lying? I don't think he's lying. I think he generally does enjoy those interactions, and he manufactures them. But Podcast Chris thinks he's lying and it didn't happen.
Kreischer out in public and spontaneously said, "What's up, Bert?" What really happened was Bert made a scene in the butcher so everyone would notice him, and then he had to explain to them who he was. Maybe he even got his phone out and Googled himself to show them that he really actually is famous, and then asked if anybody wanted a photo with him. That's a much more believable story, in my opinion.
Big up Why Not. Big up Why Not in the stream chat. To be treated like a normal person, you need to act normally. Wise words, wise words.
If Bert gets reincarnated, he'd probably come back as a governor's daughter who threatens the cops in a traffic stop and says the infamous line, "Do you know who I am?" before spitting racist slurs while she's resisting arrest. I don't know why I thought of that, but could you imagine if by the graces of God, Bert went on a drunken rampage and started destroying shit because nobody recognized him and it was all caught on camera? Fuck, that would be a gift, huh? He'd still somehow try to use it as a flex though.
I love how much he hates Bert. I love how much Podcast Cringe hates Bert. He's literally imagining a scenario where Bert crashes out. I love how much he hates him.
Hey, can someone pull up that clip of me getting arrested at the airport? Anyway, I will say though, before we keep shitting on Bert, he actually did come through on this episode when Travis told a story about how Paul McCartney deals with fame. This was such a good pickup from Bert. I'm legit proud of him for this one.
I heard someone tell a story one time, and they're like, Paul McCartney was like telling a story to a certain person I know, and he was like, you know, you don't need a bunch of security, you don't need a bunch of handlers. Like, if you want to go to the grocery store, start going to the grocery store every day at the same fucking time, and let the people at the grocery store get used to seeing you. Suddenly you'll do it and no one will bother you. It'll be really normal.
Yeah, but
you know?
his best friend got shot.
Think of that idea though. Think if like if you don't start.
No, actually, I love Paul McCartney.
Yeah, me too.
But that's exactly how John Lennon got murdered. Was he took the same path so the guy could find him.
Crazy.
Same time, went to do the same thing. I mean, like that's like crazy advice.
Yeah, that's what
happens when you're so famous. No one questions you.
Yeah,
everyone's like, "That's great advice, Paul."
I think it's just about doing. I think it's about doing stuff.
Bro got his buddy killed and then told the world about it. And Bert would know about taking unsolicited advice from somebody who's so famous that everyone just agrees with everything they say, even when they're talking absolute shit. Like I said, though, that was a rare podcast W from our boy Bert. That was some Theo Von level awareness right there. But Bert really is a slave to fame. He craves it like a fat kid standing at a vending machine, sliding his coins in and punching the numbers for a soda, sweating in anticipation as he watches it slowly drop from the chute into his fat fingers.
But I wonder how much fame he wants though. Like, what level of fame does he think he's gonna get? Because he's getting older now. Like, who wants to, like, who gives a fuck about this like 50, nearly 60-year-old comedian who like pretends to act like he's still in high school? Like, how much? I don't think he can get more famous than he actually is now. Like, that's the funny thing is, and if he just chilled out, he would still be quite well known within his little niche. It's not as if he kind of has to repeatedly stay playing in certain leagues to still be appreciated. Because he's played for so long, people still appreciate him anyway. So I don't really understand this like weird desire he has to make sure that, people know who he is. It's so strange.
Wait, Bert actually is that fat kid. Anyway, it was all just banter between a comedian and a rock star until Travis gave Bert permission to call himself a rock star as well. Like fuck.
Christ.
This was seriously the last thing we needed. Now for the rest of the year, we're going to have to listen to Bert's made up rock star stories.
Exactly.
Man, you are the coolest dude I've ever met. Like I there's a couple guys I've met in life where I go, I want that. I want a little bit of that. Looking at your eyes and like how you're just so present and grounded and just relaxed. I was like, okay, maybe there's something to being vegan or.
There's like you, like Shane Gillis.
Being present, and it's like he drinks glasses of water instead of chugging beer and fucking vodka and shit. It really isn't that difficult, mate. They're probably about the same age too, innit? I'd imagine, right? They're probably about the same age. Like, God almighty, bro. Get your life together.
Like Joe Rogan, you guys are also rock stars. Like I hear all about it, and I hear a running theme through everything you're saying. Like, it's like comedy is the new version of a rock star. Those guys are partying like rock stars. They're just as wild as rock stars. So, and it's exciting. It's exciting.
I'll tell you this:
So,
my daughters have both seen Shane Gillis live, and they didn't have the same look after seeing Blink 182.
Yeah, I bet.
Bro, Shane Gillis catching strays on an episode of Two Bears, One Cave is absolutely fucking wild. For those of you who are new here, Bert has a complicated relationship with Shane. On the one hand, they're buddies who hang out all the time and smash Bud Lights together, but the dirty side of the Austin comedy circle jerk is that Shane has become so famous that most of these guys are now living in his shadow. I don't think any of Rogan's comedians have ever been in a Super Bowl ad.
That was a really good advert, by the way. That was a really good ad. I really enjoyed that. That Bud Light advert for the Super Bowl. Really fucking good. With Post Malone.
And that's probably about to change. Don't get me wrong, there's no beef or anything going on, but just listen to the way Bert tells this next story. He's so fucking transparent that it's like listening to a toddler. He starts off by humble bragging that he's been doing comedy for almost 30 years, and then goes straight into a story about how his daughter saw a Shane Gillis special before he was famous, like 3 or 4 years ago. You guys will see how it ends, but this isn't the first time that Bert has hinted that he knew Shane before he was famous and helped bring him up by putting him on his tour, etc.
Jesus Christ, look at the size of that stomach. Fucking man. By the way, this is the amazing hang that we're all jealous of, right? Sitting there looking like you're going to give a dude a blowjob, only two fucking itches around. Loads of fellas. This is the stuff that they think everyone's jealous of. Okay, cool, man. Pissing and shitting in the pool. Nice.
So on the one hand, Bert's obviously jealous of Shane's fame right now, but he also praises him while giving himself credit for helping him become famous.
I bet you what Bert says is probably what every comedian says in green rooms about each other. They do this fake protecting and fake hyping up and being fans of each other, but really they hate each other and say loads of wild shit like this in green rooms. This is probably what they say.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I love it. But you know, much like you getting into drums just because that was your thing and you were better at that than skating. It's like I got into comedy, you know, in like 97, 90, probably 99, 98. And I just got into it because I like it. There was no career in it.
Yeah,
like,
you're just funny as fucking.
It's not what it was.
It also helps that your dad was rich and you could take a chance doing it. You also spent, 6 years in high school or something, was it? Or 6 years in college, you know, before he graduated and shit. So yeah, you know, let's also include that stuff. You could faff around and find your vocation by fucking stumbling and trying things out, dumping things, not having a job. That worked.
It wasn't what it is today. Isn't what it was then. It's cool to watch your kids, like watch my oldest daughter Georgia saw Shane for the first time, and this has got to be like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It was before he was famous. And he had this great joke. It's now in one of his specials about going to a old plantation, a reenactment plantation, and the black guy coming up. And it's in his bit. I'm not going to do the bit, but it's pretty aggressive and it's pretty hilarious. She heard it and was like, she's a little woke. And she went, "Whoa." I said, "What?" She goes, "You're not allowed to say that." I was like, "Why not? Why not?" She goes, "You get in trouble." I go, "Did you think it was funny?" She's like, "Yeah, but I can't laugh at that, can I?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You can laugh at that?" And I was like, "Yeah, baby, that's the whole point of comedy is like, you got to push the boundaries." The next night, her and her friend Daisy are crying, laughing. Next thing you know, all the girls are back at our house and Shane's Beautiful Dogs comes out.
Okay.
And 15 girls in our screening room and they're watching Beautiful fucking Dogs. 15 girls
great.
watching Beautiful Dogs and they're like, "He's the GOAT." And I was like, I got specials on there too, girls.
Yeah. No, it is. But like,
By the way, Beautiful Dogs came out in September of 2023, around 18 months ago.
The fucking hate. The hate, boy. Jesus Christ. The jealousy and the hate. Is he the same person that keeps bringing up Matt Rife as well? Is it him? So he's jealous of Matt. Like, these guys are, honestly, the jealousy is fucking crazy.
I don't know why he's saying this happened 3 to 4 years ago, before Shane was famous. Whenever Bert talks about Shane, he's got to remind everyone that he's been around for decades, whereas Shane's only just come up. But speaking of Bert's career, he actually provided the best metaphor I could have ever asked for to explain how he got so famous and started selling out half-filled arenas. If this isn't the perfect representation of Bert's career, I honestly don't know what is.
Can I show you something?
Yeah.
Last night, look, you guys can edit this out if you want. I don't give a fuck. Last night we did Tony Hawk and Jason Ellis's podcast.
Oh, cool.
Live. I know both of them very well, and I said to Jason Ellis, I said to Tony one time, I want to learn how to ollie. I'm a big skateboarder, but I never learned how to ollie. And once you learn how to ollie, you really open the door to a lot of fun in skateboarding. But and I'm too old, so they brought a board on stage. Okay, so this is last night. Now, mind you, Tony Hawk has always told me, I can get you to ollie in 5. If you give me 5 minutes, I can get you to ollie.
Whoa.
Okay. The first one you'll see is my weak ass ollie. Okay.
It's not that difficult to ollie, by the way. It just really isn't. As long as you figure out how to balance on a skateboard and you're not afraid of jumping up, it really isn't that difficult. The more difficult thing to do is ollieing up and down stuff. But ollieing in a standing spot is pretty easy to do.
So that's me on the board. By the way, I'm pretty drunk. Okay. And then that's my attempt at an ollie. Now, Tony Hawk says, okay, let me help you. 52, never ollied in my life. Take a look.
That's not really an ollie though. He's holding you.
Saw the first one.
That's not an ollie though. He's holding
and I'm
you.
drunk.
Wow.
That doesn't count. That's like doing it with a baby. He's holding you the entire time. And you didn't land it either. Like, what? What? That was very sketchy. He didn't even land it. Like, what are you talking about?
That's crazy.
Dude, I woke up this morning and I texted him and Jason and I said, I woke up a different man. I ollie.
Bro, you didn't even fucking land it.
Exactly.
You stacked it and the skateboard went flying.
He's
How is
holding
that a
it.
fucking ollie? He couldn't do one by himself, so Tony fucking Hawk holds him while he tries again. He still fucks it up, falls over, then gets up and hugs Tony Hawk like he just won an Oscar for the Machine movie. By the way, did you catch that Bert was drunk? I don't know if he mentioned that bit. But like I said, that is the perfect metaphor for Bert's whole career. He tells the Machine story to Rogan once. He thinks it's the funniest story ever. He tells Bert it's amazing and he should keep telling that story, even though it's not funny and there's no actual punchline. And then a bunch of degenerates laugh hysterically every time he takes his shirt off on stage and tells that stupid story. What are we doing here, B? Now, for those of you who don't know, Bert has a chronic fear of flying. He talks about it in almost every episode. And
someone that's afraid of flying doesn't take these many selfies in an airplane, surely, right? Someone that's afraid of flying, allegedly afraid, doesn't take all these, like, look at me, I'm in first class, look at me, I'm in business class pictures. If you're that afraid, you're too busy being afraid, right? I think it's all a lie. It's all a ruse to just allow him to fucking drink because I'm scared of flying equals I need to manage my stress, so I take Xanax and I drink. just admit you like having booze on the plane. It's all good. I think people do like drinking because of the because of the altitude too, right? Just admit that.
and how he can't get on a plane without drinking, but in one of the most Bert Kreischer moments I've ever seen, he actually tries to one-up Travis Barker's fear of flying with his own story. This is actually crazy. So if you didn't know, back in 2008, Travis was in a plane that was taking off when the tire blew out, so the pilots had to abort the takeoff, but they were going too fast and the jet overran the runway, crashing through the airport fence across a highway, and then it burst into flames. Both pilots died, Travis's personal assistant died, and so did his bodyguard. Only him and his buddy Adam, aka DJ AM, survived.
R.I.P. DJ AM, R.I.P. DJ Bloodclot AM, fucking legend.
Except Adam would then die a year later from a drug overdose. But Travis didn't come out unscathed. He suffered burns to 70% of his body. He was hospitalized for 11 weeks. He had over 30 skin graft surgeries and developed severe PTSD, depression, and he refused to fly for over 10 years after the incident. The guy literally would catch a cruise ship to meet his band to do gigs 2 weeks before it started. He even sued the aircraft company and settled with them a year later. It wasn't all bad news though, because the crash helped him to get sober.
Oh, like the fucking Vetemount Oakleys. I love the Vetemount Oakleys, bro. I love the Vetemount Oakleys.
And get healthy again. He started running, eating well, and he dug himself out of a hole eventually. And so with all of that in mind, this is what our boy Bert...
Let's see. That's a very impressive story. It's very repetitive. If you know Travis Barker, he's told that story a million times. It gets kind of boring after a while. But it's a very impressive story. It's a very tragic story. But it's one of those ones like you don't think anyone could ever one up, right? Surviving a fucking plane crash. Everybody dying in that plane apart from you and your friend who ends up unfortunately passing away due to a drug overdose that could be related to the crash in the first place and dealing with the PTSD from that. You come back from it, and become the person that you are now. It's a very, very impressive story. Let's see how Bert responds to that. Because it's just something inside him he can't help. Whenever you tell a story, he has to always one-up it. So it doesn't matter who it is in front of him. He would one-up Barack Obama, mate. He would one-up fucking Madonna. He would one-up anybody in front of him. Because he just can't help it. You tell a story, I've got a better one. Let's see.
Says to him when they're discussing his recovery from the crash and everything he's been through.
You have no idea how I've had some rough flights, and I've flown a lot. First plane.
Big up Scott L. Tom Segura is probably afraid of flying now, but for other reasons, B. Yeah, exactly. Hilarious. Big up Scott L.
Flight I took. As they were taking off, I said to my mom, I said, okay, that's high enough right there. And we're taking off. She goes, honey, we're going higher. I go, no, we're good right here. We're flying. And they go, we're going real high. And when we went above the clouds, I just started panicking for the whole flight. I was terrified of flying. The last sober flight I took, I was 18 years old, and we were flying to the...
Jesus Christ. proudly saying that the last time you flew sober, you were 18, and you're like, what, 55? God almighty.
Virgin Islands, me and my whole family, as a graduation present to me, and my mom. Oh God, this is getting into therapy shit. My dad and my sister were making fun of me because I was scared, and I started crying uncontrollably. It was terror. I was a panic attack, and they were still making fun of me. And when on our flight home, my dad took me to the bar at the hotel we were at, and I was panicking that we had to fly home. My dad goes, buddy, let's get you a couple rum runners. You'll be fine. And he bought me 2 rum runners, and I drank them. And when we got to the airport, I was like, I could use like one more, and I should be good.
What's a rum runner, by the way? I don't know, Google it. What's a rum runner? It's just rum and coke or something. What's a rum runner?
Bought me 2 more. I killed them. I've never flown sober since. I've flown sober since. I've done it a couple times, but that started my problem drinking on planes.
Bert trying to trauma bond with a plane crash victim by sharing a story of how he was anxious flying in the clouds one time and needed a drink to calm down is one of the most Bert Kreischer moments I've ever seen. Bert talking about his fears of flying to someone who was in a tragic plane crash is peak Bert. Bert saying to Travis Barker, you have no idea, I've had some rough flights, is wild. Bert really said, I've had some rough flights, you have no idea, after Travis just explained being in a plane crash and catching on fire. Crazy.
What's a rum runner? A rum runner is what? A rum runner is a ginger, what's that? Fruity rum drink? It's a fruity rum drink, okay, cool.
Travis Barker had...
Yeah, exactly. Great point, Black American. Explaining your rampant alcoholism to a sober guy is appalling alone. Exactly. He deals with it really well, Travis Barker, I'm assuming, but yeah. Boasting about, or not even, humble bragging almost about how much you drink is crazy.
Had some Zen level strength to sit through all that bullshit with Bert. I actually felt bad for him while he was describing the accident and his recovery. You could tell he didn't really want to talk about it in that much detail. His whole manner just kind of changed, and it felt like he was reliving the trauma in that moment.
Christ.
All jokes aside, though, Bert can be a tone-deaf prick sometimes. He's so fucking insufferable at the best of times, but seeing him try to empathize with Travis by saying, you have no idea, I've had some rough flights, really does capture how much of a delusional douchebag he really is. Like, Travis was describing how long it took him to get back on a plane after the crash and how he had setbacks that he still had to push through to this day. Bert doesn't realize saying shit like that just makes him look like a weak loser next to someone who's actually gone through personal growth after a tragedy. But hey, I guess he's a rock star now, huh? Anyway, speaking of rock stars, I just dropped a video on Patreon covering the Protect Our Parks guys on Kill Tony.
Yeah, cool. Anyways, let's move on. What should I show? Let's do a couple more. And I think I'm gonna bounce and break it up, and I'll probably do a daytime stream tomorrow actually. If you guys are around, maybe I'll do a part 2 of this in the daytime. But let's break up a bit. Let's break it up. Let's do a little bit of Fuzi. Let's break up. Let's do a little bit of Fuzi, and then I'll jump off because my body is fucking aching. Fuzi just told Deepak he got a boner when he seen him. Who's Deepak? Is that a young boy or is that a man? Why are you telling another man you got a boner? Just let him feel it.
I was a little sad, even ask my friends, because the stream no work, time zone bad. Once you come, my energy.
Thank you.
And my...
Because you boner, you happy.
Yeah.
When you see me, you boner.
Yeah.
You boner?
Yeah.
Bro, this is not good. Yeah, this is not good.
I was a little sad, even ask my friends, because the stream no...
Cool, man. Cool. Big up Fuzi. Cool. Actually, sorry. Let me give my fucking roundup. I forgot to fucking give the roundup of the Bert Kreischer thing. So, roundup on this podcast is as follows. Bert is just incapable. You know, usually, like, I don't know about you guys, but you know, sometimes if you meet somebody genuinely cool, I'm not sure about if you guys do the same thing, but sometimes when you meet somebody that's like well-traveled, well-read, well-cultured, and just sometimes really interesting, I don't know about you guys, but I usually go out of my way to kind of ask them loads of questions, to kind of probe them and get them to reveal more things because they're interesting. as opposed to talking about myself. I want them to talk more about themselves. Especially if you meet somebody famous, right? You don't really want to, I don't go out my way to try to be like, oh yeah, we're just the same. If anything, it's like, oh shit, I'm really a fan of what you do. And you're kind of asking questions. You're curious about what they do, how they approach certain things. You kind of want to learn more about them. They might go, if they're really kind, they might go out of the way to say, hey, enough about me. Let's talk about you. But usually that's what most people, I think, feel like they do. With Bert, he's a weird one because he thinks all celebrities, I think he thinks he's their equal or he's bigger than them or something. That's the interesting part about Bert. He definitely doesn't suffer from imposter syndrome. He thinks he's just as famous as Travis Barker. In his head, he thinks he's just as famous as Travis Barker. He generally does believe he's a rock star. So when Travis Barker's in front of him, kind of talking about himself or whatever, or his experiences, he thinks he's talking to a peer, like an equal. So it doesn't really ever strike him that he should be like, you know, maybe giving him the space to talk. Because I'd love to see the percentage of time Bert spent talking via Travis talked. I bet you most of it was Bert talking about himself. So he doesn't really give people time to kind of, or space to kind of say their thing. And just in general, you know, as he said, one of the, like, his honesty is maybe a little bit refreshing in that regard, but it's still disgusting. He genuinely does love being famous. Like, he loves it. And you can see the evidence has been there in front of you ever since he popped up on the scene. That story of him being in college, being the #1 party guy, the #1 party guy thing was less about him partying and more about him being well known. Like, he wanted his name to ring bells at all the different colleges in the fucking state that he was in, all the campuses. Like, he wanted to be known as the guy. So he's always been obsessed with fame. It's just funny that it never seems to slow down. He's still as obsessed with fame now, which is why he's jealous of Shane Gillis. Like, he's never content. He always wants more. But then he's still doing the same shit. Like, taking off his t-shirt. It's like, so he's just a strange, you know, combination of a person or whatever. But that's essentially what you get with this particular episode. So I don't think it would have been any different with Tom Segura there either, by the way. I think we would have got exactly the same episode with Travis Barker. So it was wasted on him, but I don't think it would have improved if Tom Segura was on there. But yeah, Bert is like beyond insufferable, beyond exhausting. But in a weird way, it's also quite refreshing how honest or how consistently annoying he is in his approach. Like, he doesn't ever try to change or to like dim his light or rein it back in. He doesn't believe in reining it in. I'm going to be 100% myself. You're going to have to deal with it, which is wild, but you know, it works for him, I guess. I guess it works for him. Anyway, let's go back to the fucking thing that I want to talk about, the Fuzi stuff. So let's next video here. Fuzi tells Deepak he wants to see him go crazy in the club and asks if he's ever done cocaine. Wow, bro. Fuzi's on the blow for real, yeah? Asking randoms for coke.
And at the club. Tomorrow night at the club.
Okay.
Deepak.
Yep.
Hold on. You do drinking?
No.
No, I'm good.
No drink, no smoke. No.
No.
No smoke. No drink.
What about...
I think about it.
You
no,
did it?
No, bro, no.
No?
No this, no this, no this.
What do you do? Nothing?
I do this. I mean...
What?
Okay, good.
What were you going to say? You do what?
No, nothing. I'm not saying.
I thought you were saying you do something.
Nah, all good.
So you've never... Let me... And at...
Great influence, Fuzi. Great influence. Fuzi loses it after Deepak chokes on his... Okay, cool. I'm not going to watch that. Eating food. Fuzi gets a heated argument with the Dubai cab driver after he scammed him $150 for an $80 ride. Let's see this one.
You said 80.
As you wish, but this is my meter. They cut from my salary. As
you said 80.
As you wish, but this is my meter. They cut from my salary. As you wish.
But you should have told me that. I asked you. You said get in my car 80.
Don't worry. As you wish, sir.
Here you go, sir. I'm sorry.
This is my meter. This is they cut from my salary.
I know, but you told
because the traffic is busy.
But you didn't tell me.
I told you approximately is...
You didn't say approximately. I said how much? You said I take you for 80.
Yo, his neck is sweaty. How much? The amount of gear that's up his nose, the amount of molly he must be on. Look at him. Look at the sweat. He just must be drenched on a daily, isn't it? God almighty. God almighty.
Hi best friend, America is dicey. How much room you got in the flat?
Big up Young God vibes. I have a decent, no, is that a decent couch? Is that a couch? It's a decent couch. It pulls out, it doesn't really pull back in again, but I've got I've got a decent couch. Big up Young God vibes. But to be fair, the UK isn't any better, to be fair. A kid recently got stabbed in a classroom. A kid recently got stabbed and died in his classroom. Rival gang members came to his classroom and killed him in his classroom. So yeah, not the best over here either. Everywhere's dicey.
So to come here now and say it's 160 is double.
This is not my problem. The traffic is busy, so what to do, man? This is not my problem.
But it's not my problem either, respectfully. I promise you, my brother, because you gave me price. If you told me it's a meter, I would have been like, okay. You know?
As you wish. As you wish.
No problem.
I'm not gonna take it, my brother, but I'm not being shiesty, but you told me $80.
Foozy loves an argument. Loves a fucking argument. Foozy loves an argument.
Now he's guilting me. Nah, I'm sorry, man, sir. You told me 80. I apologize, my brother.
Exhausting, bro.
Ice. Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, it does, but I just pay it because in Dubai, I'm pretty sure if you're not a sultan, you're basically like a slave. So I would just pay it. So
All right.
It's all good.
All right. Fuck. It's not even.
Oh, someone's running out of money. Foozy performs IGD in a club. Why is his jaw moving like that? Is he on Molly? Look at that jaw move. Big up Asad Aziz.
Brother, you give me price, brother. What is problem, brother? Let's wrestle.
Brother. Nothing a single leg couldn't fix, brother. Nothing a double leg couldn't fix, brother. Brother, we double leg. Brother, we sprawl, brother, sprawl.
Play the intro, fuck.
Oh, that Molly is kicking, innit? That Molly is kicking his jaw. That Molly water got his jaw spinning. That Molly water got his jaw spinning. They do Molly in Dubai, yeah? A little bit of Molly in Dubai. Whee.
Play the intro, fuck. They're gonna get turned though. Hello, we gonna go
We can fuck with peons. We can fuck with neons. G7 shit.
Everyone's just staring at him. Everyone's just staring at him, bro. They have no idea the words, no idea what he's doing, never heard the song.
Go electric like I'm Elon. If I say smoke, that's some shit we can't agree on. Running through your house, they can't see I got a ski on. Bitch, I'm tryna fuck Sam Frank. Bitch, I'm tryna fuck Sam Frank.
Jesus Christ, my ears. Jesus Christ, my ears.
I got this. Bitch, I'm tryna fuck Sam Frank. Yeah, okay. These real views, I know you are speech. What the fuck that boy just said about who I took a long break, bitch, I'm back, now I'm too hot. I can fit these racks that's in my bank, in a shoebox. Tryna raw dog Sam Frank, that's my baby. Kid want me to stream more, I told them pay me. Me, I was a kid, I was whipping that Mercedes. I'm a fucking legend, don't you ever try to play me, okay?
He's performing more for the streaming camera than the people that are in front of him in the club. He's performing more for the streaming camera than the people that are literally in front of him in the fucking club. That says everything about it, innit? That says everything about it. Oh, he gave up. He gave up. He gave up. He gave up. Look, there's a girl with a look. Look that girl there with a big bum. She has her back turned to him. That's how you know you're doing bad. There's a person here with their back turned to him. Oh God. Fucking hell. That is interesting performance. Interesting performance there from Fuzi.
Hey, thank you, goodbye. Love you.
God almighty, brutal. Okay, well, Fuzi's career is going pretty well. Great to see. Next quick clip here before I leave you guys. Look at this, brother. Look at these brothers and sisters. According to TMZ, Marcus Jordan, son of Michael Jordan, was arrested after cops say he drunkenly got his Lamborghini SUV stuck on train tracks after a night out. Wow. Oh my God. Police noticed Jordan's headlights on the railroad. When they approached, there were signs indicating he'd been trying to get away from the area, but he couldn't. Jordan admitted to having some drinks at a strip club earlier, and after failing his sobriety test was arrested. He's currently still behind bars awaiting a bond hearing. What a legend. What a legend, bro. Too much coke, man. Too much beers. Too many ladies of the night. Oh my God. This is some real Nepo baby shit, by the way. This is what Nepo baby should be doing. This is what Nepo babies should be doing. They shouldn't be trying to play basketball. They should be trying to act. They shouldn't be starting a fucking production company. Nepo babies should be out there. They should be out there burning a hole, spending all fucking, or burning a hole in their nose and spending all of their parents' money. That's what they should be doing. That's some real Nepo baby shit. Wow, Marcus Jordan is outside. Look at that. Look at his fucking Lamborghini Urus on the fucking railroad tracks, which is funny, by the way. Railing lines. He's on the fucking train lines. Fucking wild. Wow. The police are probably driving by and just saw, what the fuck are those headlights next to the train track? And they see this fucking brand spanking new Lamborghini Urus. Again, paid with daddy's money, by the way. Paid with daddy's money. And then they see him there going fucking crazy. This is him, right?
My car's a little stuck right now.
I see that.
You want to help us?
We're going to try.
Huh?
We're going to try.
What happened?
Wow.
What happened? How'd you get on the tracks, man?
All right, good. Help us try and reverse this thing out.
Well, hang on.
Jesus Christ.
You are stuck. Come here.
Jesus.
You know trains come by right now, right? No, I know. That's why I'm trying to get the
Oh, there's a girl in there too. There's a girl in the car. There's a girl there too. Shit.
We thought we were making a right, and I fucking turned onto the train tracks, apparently. I'm trying.
But yeah, we're not getting.
He is fucked, bro. I know a fucked words to hear it. I turned onto the train tracks, apparently.
I'm back in the car right now, okay? The reason why, so.
Do me a favor, keep your hands out of your pockets,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Keep your hands out of your pockets. There's nothing in my pocket. That's all. Don't pass you down. Put your hands out there, bro. Oh, man. You know. Bro.
Oh no, the girl.
I'm Michael Jordan's son.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to get home, and I made a wrong turn.
I'm Michael Jordan's son. Oh no, cringe.
Okay, and clearly, we would just like to get our car off of the fucking train tracks.
It's true.
The girl's trying to giggle to make it cool. I love police officers that don't run with that sort of shit. Oh no.
You were not trying to be on.
Why is the girl still there? Go, man. Go home. Why is she still there? She's probably looking for another fucking 8-ball, innit? She probably wants to do more drugs, hang out, more drinks. Maybe she left her stuff back at his place. Bro, your night is over. Like, your night is over, girl. Wrap it up.
I mean, I'm just saying, if there's 6 of us,
and we throw this thing in reverse.
Okay, well, I've already got concerns for your level of impairment anyways, okay? So that's why. Because I can smell alcohol coming from you, and you're on train tracks. Okay. So
come on, man.
Why? Exactly. You're impaired. Why? Sir, your car is on the train tracks. Why do you think I'm drunk? You smell like a bar. Your nostrils are covered in white powder. You sound like your nose is blocked. You're twitchy. And your car is on the train tracks.
just listen to me. That's why I don't want you back behind the wheel anyways, okay?
I'm fine behind the wheel. I just would like to get my car out of this.
We'll deal with that after this, okay? We'll deal with that after this. But that's why I had to get you out of the car, okay? Because I hear spinning tires, I hear slurred speech from you. You're driving on train tracks.
I'm not slurring anything, and I'm
okay. I'm letting you know. I have concerns. Okay?
Well,
For
I
your
appreciate that.
Driving a vehicle, I can't let you back behind the car and drive a vehicle.
I appreciate your concerns.
Yeah, I don't want.
But I am not inebriated. I'm not.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. I like a good crash out. He's also a piece of shit when it comes to sneakers, backdooring fucking shoes and shit. He was selling Jordans allegedly. There was a picture someone took. He was at some hotel place or somewhere, and he was literally selling crates of fucking pallets, of Jordans to random people out of the fucking back door. Give them away, fucking. So, never been the biggest fan of this fucking guy. But I'm glad to see he's a proper crash out.
I'm not slurring anything, he said,
exactly,
slurring.
Exactly. Big up Assad disease. That's fucking hilarious.
I'm John Africa's son.
That's fucking hilarious. Big up Assad disease. But yeah, I like it, man. I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I like a good crash out. You know me, guys. I love a good crash out. I love a good mess. You know it. I love a good mess. I love a good crash out. Wow. He took the wrong turn and ended up on the... To be fair, the car's in pretty good condition, isn't it? For ending up on the train tracks. It doesn't look fucked up. Maybe the Urus is a bit more robust than what they look like. It's not really fucked up, innit? Like, he took the wrong turn, probably went down a little ledge on the hill, whatever, and this doesn't look that fucked up. Maybe maybe underneath is way more fucked up, but it doesn't look too fucked up. Okie dokie. So yeah, he's been arrested. I'm guessing he's on bail. Oh no, he's awaiting his bail bond. And what else is this one about? Oh yeah, we saw that already. Yeah, there we go. There's the mugshot. Imagine, bro. Imagine. It's always like that anyway. He was never going to achieve anything similar or anything near what fucking Jordan achieved, his dad achieved. So the best thing you can hope for is just to be a guy that just, does his own thing. Enjoys your daddy's money, doing a bunch of blow, fucking the random strippers, driving nice cars, and just living your life, you know what I mean? He's pretty old though to be doing this. He's a bit too old to be living this way. But I do enjoy that he's not this like Nepo baby that's trying to convince us that he's like amazing, or that he's talented. It's like, nah, you just lucked out, innit? You're Jordan's kid, but you know what I mean? You're pretty useless outside of just him. I love it.
Ago, have you covered the NY lady in Pakistan yet?
No. I've not covered that shit. I'm not really a fan of that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really a fan of that lady or that whole drama. I'm not a fan of it in the slightest. Like, I don't know. I just hate that whole this whole secure the bag, yes queen shit. It's really embarrassing, man. She went out there because it was some sort of catfish, and now she's demanding money and demanding to stay. It's like, I'm okay, man. I'm okay. Some bits are funny, but I'm alright, man. I'm alright. It makes me a bit sad. She's too grown up to be doing that sort of stuff. Like, just go home, woman. Yes, the catfish was annoying, but just go home. But hey, what do I know? Let's continue quickly. And last one before I leave you guys. Krakamiko clip. Why do a comedy show when you can just go to a psycho bitch girlfriend simulator? Let's see what this was about. Lauren McKenzie. What's this about? Who's this person?
Right now, well, I can roast you too. You can't just roast all of us and get nothing.
Whoa!
Is that not allowed?
Okay.
I see.
So you were afraid because like you felt like I was saying you're gay.
I can take the mic if you want.
It's okay. He's your new friend.
I will say this, like, it is such a hard time in this world right now. There are so many people that came together to be supportive and fucking amazing, and you're putting fucking look me in the eyes. You're putting negative fucking energy out here. This is the last show of my fucking, look me in the fucking eyes. This is the last, look at me. This is the last show of my fucking weekend. It's a sold out show, and you want to say mean shit to me, okay? So don't fucking do that.
What the fuck? Don't get me wrong. Dude is a douchebag for what he said to her. The guy sounds like a bit of a cunt. But that response was a bit mad, isn't it? Like, what the fuck was that response about? Fucking hell. Hipster Whitney Cummings needs to fucking relax. LGBTQ Whitney Cummings needs to fucking chill. Queer Whitney Cummings needs to fucking relax. What the fuck was that about, man? I don't know. You shouldn't probably let people on. If you're on the stage, you probably shouldn't let people realize that they got under your skin that easily. You know. Big up Overseas.
Brother, Plaza, we have deep ditch for her in Dagestan.
No. I'm not even gonna laugh because I don't want to get demonetized. I'm not even gonna laugh because I don't want to get demonetized. But big up Overseas. I don't even want to laugh. No. I'm not even saying anything. No. Yeah, exactly. Pick up, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's like the crazy stepsister. Oh my god, man. But yeah, big up. What's her name? Natalie Kumo. Big up Natalie Kumo. She actually put that up as a clip on her own social media. You know, that's fucking wild. She actually put that as a clip on her own social media. Wild girl. Cool. Well, that's it for me for now, people. We'll have to come back
I can
tomorrow
roast you too. You can't just roast all
for
of
the TFATK stuff. We'll do that tomorrow. So please come back there tomorrow. We'll do that. And some chin stuff as well tomorrow. I think I'll do a Taz before that though. And then we'll do the random show afterwards. But thank you for joining me for now. I appreciate you. Make sure you like the stream down below. Please like the stream. It's been amazing. It's been a blast. And I'll see you guys again in the morning. Morning time. Okay? Morning time. Come back and join me. I'll see you guys in the morning time. I appreciate all of you. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. See you soon. Be safe, people. Be safe.